Good evening and welcome to the December 18th, 2025 meeting of the Northampton City Council. This is the last regular one of this council term. I'm Alex Jarrett, and as City Council President, I'll be presiding along with Vice President Rachel Maori. This meeting and all participating in person and on Zoom will be audio and video recorded. The meeting can also be watched on Comcast Channel 15 or by streaming on Northampton Open Media's YouTube channel. I now call the City Council to order. Would you call the roll, please?
Sure. Councillor Dubs.
Here.
Councillor Elkins.
Here.
Councillor Jarrett.
Here.
Councillor Clemmer.
Here.
Councillor Labarge.
Here.
Councillor Maori.
Here.
Councillor Moulton.
Here.
Councillor Perry.
Here.
And Councillor Rothenberg.
Here.
Council President, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Tonight's highlights include two presentations, the Northampton High School Road Safety Project update and the Ordinance Review Committee recommendations. Orders for citywide building portfolio upgrades and expanded vehicle leasing, and the Autumn Community Preservation Act orders, including support for affordable housing on Crafts Avenue and West Hampton Road, a Veterans Field pump track, and open space acquisition in the Mineral Hills. Next thing on our agenda is public comment. If you wish to make a public comment, please sign up on the sheet at the podium. If you're on Zoom, use the raise hand feature. Raise hand feature is in the bottom menu bar. You click on react and then raise hand. If you are having trouble raising your virtual hand, you can turn on your video and physically raise your hand. You can also submit a written public comment. You can email it to citycouncil@northamptonma.gov. It will be sent to all councilors and will be part of the public record. I'm going to alternate between people in the room and people on Zoom. And before you begin, please state your name and your city or town for the public record. To ensure everyone has an equal opportunity to speak, the council limits comments to a maximum of 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, I will ask you to please finish your sentence, and the total time for public comment is 90 minutes. If someone has already said something you agree with, feel free to just second their thought. According to our council rules, we do not respond during public comment. It is your time to speak. Our rules also state that councilors and members of the public shall conduct themselves with civility and respect at all times. Finally, you can speak on any topic. It doesn't need to be an item on the agenda, and all comments are to be directed to the council. First in the room, Jim Nash.
Jim Nash, Northampton.
Mic on. There we go. Dear City Councilors, as this term comes to a close, I want to extend a hearty thank you to all of you for your service to our city. I deeply appreciate your work to keep our city running effectively and also moving forward. Tonight, I want to thank the 4 councilors stepping down who I also had the honor of serving with on City Council. Tonight, I want to thank to Councilor Moulton, Elkins, and Jarrett. Your accomplishments are considerable. Thank you for leading important discussions around housing, zoning, policing, and cannabis, to name a few. Also, it was an honor working with the 3 of you on legislative matters. Thank you for your leadership and the grace you've brought to these chambers. Councillor Labarge, stepping down after 28 years, you've pretty much been on City Council the entire 30 years I've lived here. And you've done so serving as a model of what a local elected official is. When I joined City Council, Jerry Budger advised, Jim, watch Marianne. No one is better at constituent service, and I did. For 3 decades, the residents of Ward 6 have been blessed to have a counselor who answers every phone call, met with any resident at their earliest convenience, and was always a champion for people who are vulnerable and in need. Counselor, you have served our city with a big heart. Thank you for your lifetime of service. In closing, I want to thank all of the counselors, the mayor, city staff. Thank you to NAM and also to the administrative assistant, Laura Krutzler. Thank you for your service, and thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you. Next on Zoom is Nan. Nan, your name and city or town, please.
Nancy Smith, Chapel Street. Tonight, I would like to publicly thank Councilor Rothenberg for her courageous fight to bring transparency and all of us into the process instead of the closed doors for the rich and powerful process that has plagued the city for decades. A process that has hoarded money for vanity and capital projects for the rich and powerful while starving our schools and vital city services. The truth, commitment, and fire you brought to this battle has been unparalleled in my experience. Before you arrived, I watched councilors sit through our comments, then vote exactly as the mayor and the powerful people she serves pre-planned without any regard for us, our schools, departments, or neighborhoods. That fire and passion you brought inspired others on council and so many other people to stand up and speak out at council, online, and in the streets. You sparked hope and a people's revolution for change that I'd never seen before in this city. People with differing issues came together, learned each other's struggles, and banded together because there was hope. Hope because we had a relentless fighter on our side who inspired others to ask questions and fight back too. Sadly, our corrupt city and its wealthy owners made you pay dearly for your courage and fight, but you never quit. The unjust and outrageous way you were treated by these power brokers and those who service them is a testament to how effective a leader you are. If the bad guys are after you, you know you're doing something right. Thank you, Councilor Rothenberg. You're a hero to those who long felt there was no hope to change this city. You did that, and we are not going away, and the fight is not over. I have a feeling we'll be seeing you. Bring the fire. Councilor Labarge, thank you for your decades of service. Stopping the destruction of our working class neighborhoods is my #1 issue. Every people's meeting in any ward I ever attended, you were always there with us. It speaks volumes about the leader and person you are and meant the world to all of us. Not enough time to cover it all, but sincerely, Councilor Labarge, thank you. You're one of the best. Enjoy the holidays, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. In the room is John Cartledge. Welcome.
Good evening, councilors. My name is John Cartledge, the police chief here in Northampton. I would like to take a moment to recognize and thank Councilor Labarge for her decades of dedicated service to our community. Her commitment to the city, and in particular her steadfast support of the police department, has made a lasting impact. On a personal note, I'm especially grateful for her support of me as police chief, especially during my time as the interim police chief. Her trust, guidance, and advocacy have meant more than I can adequately express. Councilor Labarge, your leadership has always been rooted in a genuine desire to serve others and to make this community safer and stronger for everyone. Your legacy will be felt for many years to come. I would also like to extend my sincere thank you to all of the councilors, past and present, for your years of service and dedication to this city. The work you do, often behind the scenes, is always a service to the public, helps ensure our community continue to move forward. On behalf of the police department and the residents we serve, thank you for your commitment, your leadership, and your unwavering support. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on Zoom is Barbara.
Hi, my name is Barbara Devlin, and I live in South Hadley, but I'm active in the Northampton Rotary Club, and I have a daughter and family that live in Northampton. I'm pleased to be here this evening via Zoom to honor outgoing City Councilor Mary Ann Labarge. I had intended to come in person, but as you can probably tell, I'm battling a cough and a cold. Mary Ann has been a longtime member of the Northampton Rotary Club and has helped with numerous Rotary service projects, including the annual Children's Christmas Party and in recent years, our Rotary Day of Service. In 2022, I volunteered to chair the club's first day of service, a tree planting at Jackson Street and R.K. Finn Ryan Road Elementary Schools. Since I was new to the area, I asked Mary Ann for guidance on how to get the project off the ground. Mary Ann jumped in enthusiastically. She advised me to contact the mayor and the director of public works to get their support and permission to proceed. She recommended outreach to the city forester, urban forestry commission, Tree Northampton, the city council, school and district officials, the youth commission, and other potential volunteers. She contacted the council president to arrange for me to speak at a meeting of the Community Resource Commission. She encouraged fellow council members to volunteer on the day of the event and has participated in herself, I think, in all but one day of service since 2022. My email records contain numerous communications from Mary Ann throughout the planning process. Unfortunately, I didn't save all the voicemail messages she left for me, but there were many of those as well. Mary Ann's assistance with the Rotary Day of Service is just one of many ways in which Mary Ann has contributed to the Northampton community over
was-
her years on the city
That was
council.
time if you could finish your sentence.
All right. On behalf of the Northampton Rotary Club, I congratulate Mary Ann on her many contributions and wish her the very best as she returns to private life. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Barbara.
Next in the room is Anne Marie Moggio.
Evening, Anne Marie Moggio from Leeds and also the Parks and Rec Director for the city. I'm here, I would like to thank all of you city councilors for your service and dedication to the city, and especially the outgoing ones. Mary Ann, especially for you and all the involvement you've had with Parks and Rec. Your love for the city shines in all that you do, in service given and heart so true. From Santa for a day to Parks Full of Play, you brightened our city in your own special way. Parks and Rec appreciates you for all you've done, for your heart, all your hours, for everyone. For playing fields, programs, all the community involvement too. Northampton's so much better with a big thank you to you. And we have a Santa for a Day picture from when you were, she used to help deliver turkeys with the Elks Club when we would deliver presents to hundreds and hundreds of kids throughout the city. Thank you.
If you need me, call.
Yeah. You're on the list.
Thank you. Next on Zoom is Bill Dwight. Thank you. Bill, looks like you're unmuted.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, okay, here we go. I'm sorry. Hello, Bill Dwight, Northampton. I want to focus on the councilors who are attending their last meeting of this term tonight, and I know all of you in various capacities, and I know this meeting inspires a host of feelings, many of them conflicting. First off, thank you, Council President Jarrett. You are a person of significant integrity and temperance, especially under challenging circumstances. So thank you. Your balance and calmness will be missed. Councilor Moulton, again, you two have displayed remarkable balance and fairness, and your serenity and decency really know few equals. Councilor Elkins, I will miss your moxie and your analytical mind and your commitment for collaboration and good outcomes. You understand the intricacies of municipal governance that afford you a perspective that is much more holistic than most held by many elected officials. Your sophistication has been an asset that served us well, and I really appreciate your service. And then Mary Ann, the counselor on the ward. There are 30-somethings who grew up here who have known only one Ward 6 counselor for their entire lives. You're a virtual institution. You and I got elected for the first time together, and I've retired twice since then. You are the quintessential retail politician, a door-to-door friend to every neighbor and every neighborhood in your ward. You are the bridge also between Northampton's last two generations, a context that we will be poor without, and for sure. And your absence will be felt, but I've enjoyed my time with you. You're an excellent colleague. And then there's, time's up. Well, good luck to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next in the room is Donna Lascalia.
That's on. Okay. Good evening, councilors. My name is Donna Lascalia, and I'm the Public Works Director for the City of Northampton. I appreciate the opportunity to speak tonight to thank this council for their support of Public Works, our employees, and all of our operations. All of you have a hard job, as do we, and it is through our mutual respect and support that we succeed. And to my dear friend, Councilor Marianne Labarge, specifically, on May 2nd, 2016, former Mayor David Narkowitz appointed me director in the hearing room. And you were in attendance, sitting very close to the front row, as I recall, and one of the first people to whom I was introduced in Northampton. You have been a constant presence for me since that day. I have had a front row seat for your advocacy. I have met so many of your residents in so many places at so many times. I have received emails from you at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning advocating for your residents, and I have been awake to read all of them. And we have worked together on so many important initiatives. I mean, who doesn't remember Burt's Pate Road before it was paved, and Glendale Road before it was paved, and we've worked on intersection improvements out on Route 66, and then smaller things like a deer crossing sign or a Jake brake sign or like road striping. But all of these things are incredibly important, and your representation of your constituents has been steadfast, and it has been inspirational. And it is so indicative of your commitment to this community, and you have pushed all of us to be better. You have pushed me to be better, and that is your gift. It has been my great honor to have served all of these years with you. And I wish you good health and good fortune. And most importantly, I wish you great happiness in whatever comes next for you. I thank you for your friendship, and I thank you for your support of me and all of our employees. Thank you all.
Thank you. Next on Zoom is Gwen.
Not to be confused with your new Gwen or your city council, but I won't. I will take your advice, Alex, and not repeat myself of all the other incredible testimonies that were made tonight. I couldn't possibly do justice to all of them, and I thank everyone who said those words. What I wanted to do was say those words as well, but all I will say now, not to belabor this, is thank you to the counselors who are leaving, and thank you to the counselors who will stay. As a retiring school committee person, it might be my last retirement in this town, I know how hard it is to be an elected official now. I was an employee before, but being an elected official is quite a challenge. And in particular, I'd like to say thank you to Marianne Labarge. I kind of grew up as a professional in this town with you, Marianne. When I was a principal, when I was administrator in the district, in the central office, I could count on you to be friendly and smiling and kind and supportive of even some of the wackiest ideas I might have had. You have always sought me out in different venues when we've been together. You know how to be a very good representative counselor, and I know you will be a model for many, many, many people in the future. And I just wish you all the best, Marianne, and I hope we will run into each other again soon. Thank you.
Thank you. And your name and city or town, please. Sorry, we have to find you.
That's Gwen Agna from Northampton.
I think we can. I think that's good. Thank you.
Got it.
Next in the room is Wendy Foxman.
Well, people have already said what I'm done. So quick. Thank you. I haven't been up here in a while since the last committee I was on.
Your name and city or town.
Wendy Foxman leads Ward 7, very happily represented by my Ward 7 Councilor Rachel Mayari. I just came also, as so many people have virtually or here in the room, to thank those who've served and are no longer going to be serving on the council. I've watched your meetings over many years, and it's not been an easy run, but that's deliberation. So Stan, thank you. Marissa, thank you. Marianne, thank you. And I won't add to the pile of thank yous, so with a whole lot more, but I have a lot more to say about you. And Quaverly, thank you as well. And thank everybody who are continuing, and the mayor, and the staff, and Don, everybody, okay? But for all your differences, I just wanted to say this is what pops up for me. For all the differences and discussions you have that are challenging, there is one thing that unites you and unites people in this room and unites peoples that have been in this room who have strong words to say. Everybody cares. Keep that in mind. You all care. You share that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marianne.
Thank you. Next on Zoom is Summer.
Hi, Summer Cable. I live in Florence. Alex, you are my current and soon to be no more representative, and I just wanted to say thank you. I think all of the work that you, the current council, particularly Marissa and Garrick and Stan have done has been incredible, and I'm not going to say anything more eloquently than Bill or Gwen or anyone else has tonight, but I think that it should be reiterated and focused on that the work you do is not glamorous, and yet you show up every day, and you sacrifice your Thursday nights, and you sacrifice your afternoons, and you're guaranteed that, you know, a third of the city is going to be mad about you about something, right? A speed bump or something relatively inconsequential, but you still show up, and you do it with grace and patience and aplomb, and I just really want to honor what you have done during your terms, and thank you so much. So congratulations on your retirement. I'm glad you get your Thursdays back.
Thank you. Next in the room is Joe Torog.
Hello. I'm Joseph Torog from Florence, and I just wanted to thank Councilor Labarge for her decades of service. She was incomparable as a city councilor. You've heard the stories already. I had 45 minutes planned, but I'll cut it short. Two quick stories. I remember sitting on folding chair at Burt's Pit Road, counting cars. She was instrumental in getting stop signs there. She was instrumental in getting working lights at Florence Road and Rocky Hill Road, where people were killed, and still they run the red lights. Where's the chief of police? They run red lights there. Somebody's going to get killed. But she was Counselor Fix-It. That's why I always joked she was Counselor Fix-It. She had a strong voice, as her campaign sign said, but also independent. She was totally independent. Who she answered to were her constituents. I'm from Ward 6. I'll tell you another story. We were holding campaign signs at Florence Road and Rock Hill Road, and as people went by, she could tell who was in the car. She knew who their names were. She knew their life story. She knew their dogs' names. That's what she was. So we'll miss you, and I wish you luck in your future, because you still have a lot to offer the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on Zoom is Daniel.
Can I get my video on? Okay. All right. Hi, my name is Dan. I live in downtown Northampton. At the beginning of many of your terms in 2022, you voted to do two things at the very beginning. One was a rules change that would bring public comment from 3 minutes to 2 minutes. Another was to pass a giant omnibus bill called the form-based code. I think many of you didn't realize what you were doing by passing the form-based code, but what you did was created a whole new zoning type. And you rezoned many lots in the city without the notification to the public that would be due through the law. Councilor Jarrett, I think you weren't aware that you got rid of affordability requirements. Councilor Moulton, we've spoken. You had some questions about the timing with some of those lots being rezoned. Maybe spot zoning. Councillor Elkins was not aware that it in any way changed parking requirements, and et cetera, et cetera. And that just means that there needed to be some oversight on this giant bill, because it was a giant bill that you passed that affected many people in the city. Me, my neighbors, people all over the city came to you and tried to force you guys to do some oversight on these issues. And yet over and over and over, no matter how often we asked, we were turned down, rejected, barred. Councillor Perry, you voted no on bills that were bounced back to me through email, so I know that you never read them or the supporting evidence. Mary Ann, we've spoken at length about some of the issues that you have with real estate development in this city, and yet that was not able to be backed up by your votes. There are many issues like this that all over the city we've been begging you guys to look at. The $3 million church purchase that is still in the news today. Many business owners across downtown saying that Picture Main Street will hurt them. Just because half of the business owners say it'll hurt them and half of the business owners say it doesn't, that doesn't make it controversial. That means that you're hurting half of the business owners, and you guys are choosing not to do anything about it. We're asking for basic oversight. We're not trying to force your hand. We're asking you guys to pay some attention to these major issues. There are parents
That was
of
time. If you
disabled
could finish your sentence.
There are parents of disabled children who have been coming to you and saying that they're being underserved in the city schools, just like the disabled people who are telling you that they are being underserved on the sidewalks and roads. You investigate
Thank
your
you.
counselor for calling.
Thank you. That is the end of the time. Next in the room is Peggy Peace.
Right, hey. My name is Tom Pease. I'm the commander at the VFW Post 8006. Greetings, Councilor Mary Ann Labarge. It is with great pleasure that we at the Florence VFW Post 8006 wish to congratulate you on your many years of service as city councilor for our community and to honor your never-ending commitment to our local military organizations. Not only have you served with genuine honesty and integrity, but true devotion. We could always count on you to be there, whether marching in a parade, sitting in many of our organization's meetings, or heading up meetings with the Veterans Council of Northampton. You absolutely are the true definition of community involvement and dedication. Your commitment to the city will truly be missed by all whose lives you have touched. In passing, let us not say goodbye. Let us say goodbye for now. Signed by Thomas R. Pease, the commander, William D. Ahern Corporation president, and Liz Cummings, our auxiliary president. Present her with flowers. Detail in hut, present, order, right pace, forward,
Thank you so much. Next on Zoom is Rachel.
My name is Rachel Simpson. That's a hard act to follow, especially for a crier. I live on West Hampton Road in Ward 6. I've lived in Northampton for 57 years, and for more than half of that time, Councilor Labarge has been the epitome of public service to this city. So I wanted to take a minute to thank her. I have known her for a long time, but it wasn't until I moved to Ward 6 about 7 years ago that I really understood how hard she worked. The thing about Councilor Labarge is that, like everyone else has said, she really cares about her constituents. She works for the people she represents. And she helps us, everybody in our ward in all kinds of ways, many of which go above and beyond the job description of a city councilor. She's done so much for so many people over the years, the city as a whole and individuals, connecting people with financial assistance when needed, addressing individual food insecurity, helping with housing, helping with traffic signs, and pushing to get sidewalks built on Florence Road. And this is in addition to her notable service on numerous city council subcommittees. And unlike many politicians, she does this work for the people she represents quietly, not for political points or for fanfare, but because she knows it's the right thing to do. I've been quite fortunate to be her constituent, and I'm grateful to know her and be her neighbor. And the one thing I hope is that since I'm married to Mr. Christmas, that we don't have to have a kind of contest about who's got better Christmas decor, because I think I might lose. Thank you, Marianne, and thank you to Stanley, who was my editor at the Gazette and detail-oriented, so I knew he'd be a great city councilor, and to Marissa and to Alex for your service to the city. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Next in the room is Russ Warner.
Was that bad?
No, it's fine.
It was perfect.
Hang up, Rachel. Nailed it.
Russ. Is Russ Warner here? Okay, looks like Russ has left. So we'll go to Patty Healy.
Hi, I'm Patty Healy. I live on Longfellow Drive in Ward 6, and Marianne Labarge was my counselor. I looked outside my window one day 29 years ago, and this little woman was coming up the driveway, and I opened the door, and she said, "I'm Marianne Labarge, and I'm running for city council." And I remember thinking, who the heck is this character? But since then, I have been so fortunate to have had her as my city councilor for all these years. There's no one like Marianne. Within a year, she asked me to be her campaign manager, and she said, "Don't worry, you don't have to do a thing. I just need your name on this paper." And it's true, I didn't have to do anything because everybody in the ward knew Marianne. She didn't have to really run campaigns. She was a union worker at Belchertown State School for many years, and that's where her passion grew, to take care of people with disabilities, and her favorite committee was the Commission on Disabilities. That's where she really was most passionate about that. But she was a powerhouse. Many times, I think all of us have seen her looking up at a very tall person with her finger going like this and saying, "Hear me out." But also, I think people would quake in their boots. Powerful people quaked in their boots when they saw that red Buick driving up the street, coming to them. She had the DPW on speed dial, that was for sure. She got everything taken care of in our neighborhood that we needed. She spent hours talking to her residents. She went to every single door in every single street in the ward for years. She did that, and even in the last year, it was painful to be walking behind her, going from door to door. I'm not going to go into all the wonderful things she did, which was a list a mile long. But my favorite was getting the full-blown light at West Hampton Road and Florence Road. She's got the energy of an Olympian, the tenacity of a bulldog with a bone. She is the boldest woman I know and very astute politician. She loved serving her constituents. City councilors will come and go, but there will never be another Marianne Labarge. Marianne, my friend and mentor, I love you. From my heart, I love you, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Hi, I got the call to unmute, but.
Great.
Sorry.
Sorry,
Yeah.
just a
No,
hug.
no, no, yes,
just
I
a
don't
hug
wanna-
going
yes.
on. Wanted to let
Beautiful.
that happen. Yes, welcome, Nina. Your name and
Thank
city or
you.
town.
My name is Nina, and I live in Ward 3, Northampton. I would first like to thank Councilor Rothenberg for her service to the city. Whenever anyone has asked me about our controversial city councilor, I've told them that she is the only person within this government who tried to help us when we had a problem, and that is true. I've heard this time and time again. She listens and she tries. I've heard something similar tonight in the love for Councilor Labarge, which is very moving, and clearly her legacy is significant. For me and my neighbors, that kind of interest, integrity, and speaking truth to power is embodied in Councilor Rothenberg. I'm interested to see the dynamic among the council and in public dialogue going forth without Councilor Rothenberg as a scapegoat for the city's problems. I'm hopeful that several of our incoming councilors will continue working for the people and not for power. Maybe you've all also been tallying the number of restaurants and cafes that have announced closure since the mayoral election. Just this week, I've spoken to several business owners who have not seen the needed this holiday season and have rarely, if ever, felt interest from City Hall in supporting them now or during the disruption of Picture Main Street. I'm hopeful that the new council will attempt to support our business community so that we might all have a vibrant downtown Northampton and downtown Florence. I hope that this also includes accessibility improvements and sidewalk and road repairs that have been necessary for decades or more. I'm hopeful that the incoming council will see that there's a wide spectrum between tax money for unfettered luxury development on one hand and working with the community to solve our housing needs on the other. And I'm hopeful that the incoming council working with the school committee will allocate the money that we absolutely have to supporting all of our children. Thank you again, Councilor Rothenberg, and I hope everyone has a restful and safe holiday season.
Thank you. Next in the room is Tom Burton. Welcome, and you're welcome to come around if you would prefer.
Oh, the heights. Anyway, I'm here tonight to say thank you to Q, who's done an awesome job for our district. Oh, by the way, Tom Burton, Northampton, Ward 3. And I want to thank you especially for that. And Mary Ann, I want to thank you for what you did specifically when the housing authority took the air conditioners away from the folks in McDonald's, and you were there and gave them hell. It's wonderful. I'll always remember you for that. I've been living in Northampton as long as some people here say they don't know, but I do want to thank you. But Q, you did an outstanding job, and I felt really well represented, and I'm going to miss you. All right, that's it.
Thank you. Next on Zoom is GLN.
Yes, hello, my name is Gwenda Bod. I reside in Ward 1, and I also am recently elected as the Ward 1 City Councilor, although I'm speaking tonight as a citizen and just as somebody who hasn't taken an oath yet. I want to thank Stan Moulton for his dedication to Ward 1 over the past 2 terms, and for his service to the city, and for supporting me throughout my campaign. And I'm honored to have known you, Stan. I also want to thank Alex Jarrett for his dedication to climate issues, sustainability, and commitment to community, and for staying grounded in truth and in the facts. I appreciate your dedication and service to the city, and most recently for being supportive during my campaign. I also want to thank Mary Ann Labarge because she did an amazing thing and fought for 17 years to get sidewalks over near Florence Heights, and she did it. And I just want to say that I appreciate all the years of Mary Ann Labarge's service to the city of Northampton with so much respect. And for the fun times that we actually got to spend together over the last few months, getting to know each other. And I just really appreciate you making me laugh, Mary Ann. And so thank you for teaching me to remember my sense of humor. I also want to thank Marissa Elkins. And I want to thank Marissa for her dedication to the city and for keeping the city functioning and for the commitment to the community. and also for supporting me throughout my campaign, even if in the smallest way. Anyway, I also want to thank Quaverly. And Quaverly, thank you for standing up for vulnerable people and for tenants in public housing. And I recognize this. And I also appreciate your commitment to the city. And so with that, thank you all. And that's it. I look forward to connecting with residents in Ward 1 or whoever wants to speak to me.
Thank you.
Available. Thank you.
Next in the room is Barbara R. Welcome. Your name and city or town, please.
My name is Barbara Rikaska. I'm from Florence. First, I'd like to thank all of the counselors over the years, and sorry to see some of you go. Also, I have from Susan Roth a dedication, if you want to say. She couldn't be here tonight. I live in Ward 6 and will be sorry to see Mary Ann leave her post. Besides all she has done for the community, she has helped me personally over the past 20 years. She welcomed me and my husband when we moved to Northampton. She brought us gifts like a leaf gathering basket for autumn cleanup and a garden sculpture, and variously wrapped Christmas presents. She helped get my mother into low-income housing so that she would live close by. It was great working with her to save Mineral Hills Conservation Area. During election years, I delivered her campaign flyers door to door. Just knowing she was there for us was a good feeling. Mary Ann cares about people. We were lucky to have her as our ward counselor and continue to have her as our neighbor. Thank you, Susan. That's Susan Roth. And this is just one example of Mary Ann's action and help with many people and projects, including the C-54 Memorial on Florence Road, and also working with Habitat for Humanity and helping any resident with an issue, big or small. Thank you, Mary Ann. I love you. Thank you, counselors.
Thank you. Next on Zoom is Sarah.
Hi, sorry. Well, Sarah Howard, Florence. I would like to express my utmost appreciation and gratitude for the work of my wonderful city councilor, who also happens to be my wonderful spouse, Alex Barrett. I've had a firsthand view of the incredible amount of dedication and thoughtfulness that Alex has brought into this work. Alex is a person of genuine caring for the well-being of the community, and he has put uncountable hours of diligent effort, continuous listening, scrupulous research, nights of worrying, moments of humor, tears, celebration, lots and lots of connecting and collaborating, tremendous compassion, limitless patience, and the utmost integrity and humility into the past 6 years. Alex is one of the kindest humans I have ever known, and probably on the planet. He also happens to have a brilliant mind. He has made skillful use of tools such as zoning and other ordinance changes and understands how planning and design interconnectedly affect social justice, including housing affordability, climate, economic concerns, etc. Alex has worked on, proposed, and or supported such changes as allowing 2 housing units to be built anywhere in the city, including ADUs, implementing zoning bonuses for the creation of affordable units, removing parking requirements that add barriers to development of housing, rezoning for the creation of bombics, rezoning so that housing could be built on the site of the former toxic biochem plant. And most recently, I think, co-sponsoring an ordinance to allow historic accessory structures to be converted to living spaces, just to name a few. He was also one of the main catalysts, along with Rachel Maori, for freeing up the funds, allowing for the creation of the
That was
Division of
time. If
Community
you could
Care.
finish your sentence.
Yeah, I guess you'll just have to cut me off, Alex.
He runs a tight ship.
Thank you. All right. Next in the room is Michael Bardsley.
Michael Bardsley, Ward 3, Northampton. I have been a resident of Ward 3 for 25 years, and I have served on the City Council for over a dozen years, 8 of them as City Council President. From that perspective, I wholeheartedly believe that Quaverly Rothenberg has been an outstanding City Councilor. She has advocated for her constituents with enthusiasm, with passion, and with the courage of her convictions. She has raised the difficult questions that needed to be asked and has aggressively challenged proposals she believed were not in the best interest of Northampton. That is what a city councilor is supposed to do. For her independent thinking, for her personal integrity, and for the honorable manner in which she has conducted herself, I wish to thank Quaverly for her outstanding efforts. The debate of this council regarding the censure of Quaverly was, in my opinion, was personality politics at its worst. It seemed intended to damage the personal reputation of one who dared challenge the political establishment. It was not the council's finest hour. The wisdom of Voltaire rings true. It is dangerous to be right in matters in which the established authorities are wrong. Thank you for your time, and also I want to say ditto to Mary Ann for your service all these years with the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Next in the room is Aileen Davis.
Hello, everyone. I really just wanted to say thank you all so much for your service and your work ethic and your ideas and leadership have been an inspiration to me as I have attempted to be a leader in the community as well. And I appreciate your public service. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Shelley Berkowitz.
Good evening, Northampton, Ward 1. I'm here mainly to thank Councillor Quaverly Rothenberg. You're back, good. For all she has done, not just for her Ward 3 constituents, but for all of Northampton, for bravely speaking truth to power, especially after the attempt to tarnish her reputation by censure, as Mr. Bardwell said, for bullying tactics, for false and trumped-up charges. I'm quashing my own anger here because despite this treatment, she persisted. She spoke strongly at school committee on December 11th when the same censure tactic was again attempted to be considered on the agenda by the mayor, this time against 2 Northampton residents who each gave respectful, articulate public comment at city council as individuals a few days earlier, and who also happened to be extremely ethical and effective members of the school committee, Mike Stein and Anat Weisenfreund. This was in direct violation of their First Amendment rights to free speech. After Quaverly's comments at that school committee and much public outrage, the censure was walked back, and a form of apology for the mistake was publicly given by Gwen Agna, but not by the mayor. So I thank you, Quaverly, for all your courage.
At work, so I didn't hear what you.
Hope you'll not take away my time for that. So I thank you, Quaverly Rothenberg, for your courage, which has served as a catalyst for increased transparency and change, true change in the city. Remember, we all know that 76 votes is not a mandate. Thank you to all the counselors who are leaving, especially Councilor Labarge for your prolonged service. And I am excited and hopeful to all, both the newly elected and returning counselors, who I hope have learned that we the people expect this new increase in transparency and public involvement as the new norm, for which we will not back down. Quaverly, thank you for your brilliance, your accomplishments, your compassion, which will continue no matter which form you choose to serve in. Thank you.
Thank you. Next in
Performs
the
with me music.
next in the room is Karen Foster Cannon.
Hi there, I'm Karen Foster Cannon from Northampton. And I was thinking about when I was a brand new counselor in 2020, there was a issue in one of the neighborhoods I represent that ended up being pretty divisive and really challenging to navigate as a new counselor. And as I was bringing people together and meeting with the mayor and meeting with residents, somebody who was really angry and really frustrated just looked at me finally and was like shaking and was like, "Why can't you just be like Marianne Labarge?" Counselor, you set a high bar, a high ceiling. I was not Marianne Labarge. I did my best, but you represented your residents with such compassion and care, and it was really a thing to see. Thank you for that, and I wish you all the best on your next steps. And Councilors Elkins, Jarrett, Moulton, what a privilege it was to serve alongside you. We were often voting in alignment, and at times we were not. And every single issue that came before the floor, I knew that you had done your due diligence, you had done your research, and you came to your vote with the best interests, what you truly believe to be the best interests of Northampton at heart. I never doubted that in any one of our meetings and in the way I saw you conduct yourselves as city councilors. Thank you all so much for your service, for everything you've done. Northampton is better for all of you. Thank you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Next, Andrea Bertini.
Hi, Andrea Bertini, Ward 5. Quaverly, I want to thank you for all your hard work, commitment, especially to those, the most marginalized people in this community. You are the only city councilor who listened to our story and actually heard us. You acted, advocated, and mobilized. And I know we are just one family among many who feel the same way. You are a leader of a movement. You are and will continue to be the voice of the voiceless in this town. You are the only city councilor who continue to reach their hand out and say, how can I help? What can I do? How can I learn more? And who are the experts? You will continue to be the fierce fighter for civil rights for all our kids, call out what is so wrong here, and hold these leaders accountable for their lack of action that has resulted in national news DESI findings of wrongdoing in state and federal investigations. I've watched these meetings for months and seen councilors yell at you, curse at you, and watch this council work hard to dim your light. Through all of that, you have not wavered from your professional duties, which is to represent those in Ward 3 who needed you to stand up for them. You continue to be an absolute, unflappable badass. You created a movement here, and the momentum will not stop just because you won't be in that seat. You now can advocate without restriction. What has happened has only amplified your voice and connected a community. For those of us who have not felt or been valued here and whose experiences have been dismissed and ignored. And lastly, as the most vetted member of the Quave Wave, I just want you to know I thank you for pulling us into your massive tent. You are appreciated more than you know. You are valued by so many of us. And I thank you for hearing us, for being the change candidate this town needed. We all thank you for your sacrifice, your time, your energy, your responsiveness. We thank you for your leadership, your willingness to fight for transparency and accountability for the schools, for basic city services, and for bringing the voices of the voiceless to the forefront. Thanks, Q.
Thank you. Next is Ruthie Woodring.
I'm Ruthie Woodring from Florence. I've taken some amazingly beautiful walks in the snowy woods lately, and I'm just astounded by the beauty in some of Northampton's conservation areas. And one of the things that you notice when you walk in the woods in winter is tracks. The tracks, they're so obvious. And it helps you realize just the variety of creatures that are all trying to coexist in Northampton. So I just want to encourage people to spend some time in the woods if they can. Also, I really appreciate the accessible transportation or accessible conservation areas like the rail trail and the trees. Just want to love them and find some peace.
Thank you. Next is Claire Higgins.
Hi, I'm Claire Higgins. I live in Northampton. And I'm here primarily to say thank you to Mary Ann LaBarge for her decades of service. I actually predated her by a few years on the city council, but that meant that I served with her son. So Mary Ann actually took the same seat that her son first had, and then there was a guy we don't talk about, and then actually he was a great guy, and then Mary Ann came back and took the seat back for the LaBarges and has held it ever since. So Mary Ann was, we were not always on the same side of an issue when I can give you a long list of things we didn't agree on, but we always disagreed in ways that we were able to work it through. And the one thing that I have enormous respect for Mary Ann about is the one place that we agreed on was on affordable housing, and she was at the front end of saying, there's a lot here, let's use it for Habitat for Humanity. There's a lot here, let's do something else with it. She constantly was trying to argue for the housing needs of people in the community, and I really appreciated with that. And then even after I left city government and was working at with local social service agency, Mary Ann reached out to say, what can we do as the Rotary Club and the Elks for the kids of our agency? So service runs long and deep in her, and I don't think that's going to end when she leaves here. I want to say one other thing. I remember when I first got elected, Mary Ann, I think you might not even have been elected official. You called me up to yell at me about something that the state was doing on Route 66 it took forever to get Route 66 redesigned and repaved, by the way, for those who don't know. But Mary Ann and I had many, many conversations about Route 66, and we ended up in the right place because Mary Ann didn't walk away from the table, and she always tried to find a solution to the problems that she had. So I appreciate you, Mary Ann, and the city is going to miss your service.
Thank you. Next is Amy Bookbinder. Welcome.
Thank you. I don't know if I need to ask for an accommodation or not, but I'm reading my comment and my eyes are not the best anymore, so I'll try to stay within 2 minutes. On this last night of this council's term, I want to thank all of you and the mayor for hard work and stepping up to serve Northampton. This term has been very challenging for everyone. Special thanks to my counselor, Rachel Maori, your vice president, Jeremy Dubbs, local rock star and wonderful counselor, and the fabulous Mary Ann, my friend. For good finance committee leadership, advocacy for the disabled, or as I prefer to say, differently abled, in our city, and for great constituent support, respectively. Thank you. Big thanks also to Councillor Rothenberg for righteous work on behalf of Ward 3 and the entire city she has served well. Though some of you here have not served her, your colleague, well, or others throughout our city, or democracy, transparency, accountability, the importance of separation of powers in our government, not to mention our school children, school staff, school families, and the needs and rights of our most marginalized people. Thank you, Quaverly. Some here have said Northampton now has its own scarlet letter, and that letter is Q. And that's why I'm wearing this proudly. For Quaverly and for questioning how our government makes and carries out policy, That's why I'm wearing this. I stand with all that Quaverly has and will continue to do on behalf of a better council and a more democratic government. Last week, as someone already mentioned, at the last school committee meeting, can I finish?
So our policy is that accommodations need to be arranged in advance, but you could ask someone else to read your statement, and we could go to them when the time comes.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
If anybody wants to wear one, I have plenty.
Next is Wendy Mazza.
Okay, here we go. This is for Mary Ann. As soon as I can open it. I've had the privilege of knowing Mary Ann for many years. As a member of the Northampton Elks Lodge, Mary Ann would deliver Thanksgiving baskets to several of her constituents who were in need, and I saw firsthand how much her act of kindness meant to them. I learned a lot by going with her and seeing her constituents in Ward 6. I worked with Mary Ann on a fashion show with the proceedings going to the Cooley-Dixon Hospital. She dressed as an elf at the Elks Children's Christmas party and danced around as an elf. There are so many more. There are so many more times Mary Ann volunteered her time and energy to causes she believes in. The counselor will be missed, but I know you will always be ready and willing to help the people of Ward 6. And I personally want to thank you for years of service as a city councilor in Ward 6. Love you.
Thank you. And just, sorry, your name and city or town.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Wendy Mazza, Ward 7.
Thank you.
Leeds.
Next is Mary Ford.
So, I've been around here a long time. Looking around the room, I see Northampton, the community that all of us love in all its variety. And Mary Ann, one of the things that I remembered thinking about serving with you is that even though the city kept changing a lot, and we often function kind of in tribes, you never let on being part of any tribe. You respected the individuals who you chose to serve. And I noticed you never called them constituents. I don't think you thought of there being an exchange. I did this kind of help to this person for 3 times, so they better hold a sign for me, or that kind of give and take. I felt like when you talked about issues that you would bring to the mayor or the city council, that you would say, my people. And you really meant that. You didn't mean, that they were a group that you were in control of. You meant that everyone in that ward, and I think to some extent the whole city, that they were people to you. And that's why you brought their issues forward. And that's why they were so comfortable sharing their issues, trusting you to take them up. So you've just been a wonderful public servant. And a lot of you here around the room who are saying goodbye, or even who are continuing on, I don't know. But I absolutely wish you all well. Jeremy, I
That was-
knew you
that was
not
time.
from city
You could
government,
finish your
but
sentence.
from the other side of the river when we were working, paying work, day jobs.
Mary, that was time. If you could just finish
Okay.
your sentence.
Yeah, thank you for keeping me to 2 minutes. It would have been 5, it would have been 10.
Thank you so much. Next is Lynn Simmons.
Thanks. That's quite an act to follow. So I just want to add my voice to all.
And
of
your
you.
name and city or
sorry.
town.
Thank you. Lynn Simmons, West Hampton Road, Ward 6. I just want to add my voice to all the other voices who have expressed their appreciation to Mary Ann tonight. Thank you for being my city councilor for over half my life. One of the things that I think sticks out the most about you as a city councilor is not that you're a tireless advocate for Northampton as a whole and also Ward 6, but the relationships that you develop with your residents. You know everyone personally, you know what's going on in their homes, where they might be struggling, and you connect them with resources. And that is something that not every elected official can do. And that's a gift that you have, and I really hope that you continue with that, because I know that there's a lot of people on Ward 6 that need that from you. So thank you, and enjoy what comes next.
Thank you. Next is Denise Lello.
That means you're kind of getting to the end. Green, there we go. Okay. I just wanted to take this opportunity. Oh, Denise Lello, Northampton. I wanted to take this opportunity to publicly thank the outgoing city councilors for their service. City councilors devote an enormous amount of time and energy to serving the community. Their job is to make decisions on behalf of their constituents or people, taking into account those concerns as well as the good of the broader community. They must educate themselves on a variety of issues that might be outside their direct training. And always, they must listen carefully and ask questions for clarification, and then balance their priorities. As you know, my primary concern is climate change, because it is the problem that impacts and dwarfs every other issue out there, because it's going to impact our health, it's going to impact immigration, it's going to impact our economic well-being. I want to recognize 3 outgoing councilors for their work and support for efforts to alter city functions to mitigate as well as ameliorate climate change. The first is Councilor Moulton, who became my councilor just several years ago when my address was moved into Ward 1. Stan has generally agreed with me, so I think he's very smart. But seriously, he has addressed many issues in a caring and a supportive manner. The second is Councilor Elkins, who has always done her homework and asked for additional study when information is unclear. She listens carefully and is open to changing her opinion if the facts warrant it. Finally, Councilor Jarrett has earned our admiration and gratitude for his service. First, as a councilor, as passionate about the need to work to create a just and livable future, and as we are, and second, as council president, whose patience and openness to citizen comments, combined with fairness and discipline required to run effective meetings, is a model. So thank you all, and best wishes as you move forward.
Thank you. Next is Abby Spector.
I'm going to pass tonight. I'll save it for the next. I'll save it for the next
Sure. Then next is Megan Wolf.
Good evening, Megan Wolf, Northampton, Ward 4. I want to thank everyone here for your service this term. Councilors Elkin, Moulton, and Jarrett, and Rothenberg, thank you. I also want to add my sincere gratitude to Councilor Labarge for your decade of service to our city, or many decades, sorry. 30 years of public service is not just a measure of time. It represents thousands of meetings, votes, and conversations with constituents, and many difficult decisions made in full view of the public. Whether or not we always agreed, which I think we probably did, that level of commitment deserves recognition and respect. I also want to speak more broadly about public service in this moment. Serving in elected office requires judgment, restraint, and a willingness to engage in disagreement without personalizing it. Our local democracy depends on the ability to debate strongly, hold one another accountable, and still respect the processes that govern us. Disagreement is not misconduct, accountability is not persecution, and feeling aggrieved does not make one a victim, especially when established processes are followed and colleagues are acting in good faith. When conflicts move from policy disagreement into personal grievance, it undermines trust, not only among elected officials, but between the public and the institutions meant to serve them. As we mark this transition, I want to return to the reason I'm speaking tonight. 30 years of service reflects a deep investment in this community and the often unseen work of local governance. I hope we can honor that legacy by strengthening, not weakening, the norms of public service that make this body function. Thank you all for your service.
Thank you. Next is Nathan Chung.
Hi, my name is Nathan Chung. I live in Northampton. I think I just want to offer general thanks to everyone in the Western Mass region for making out through this year. I mean, we got 2 weeks left, but it's been a rough year, and I want to thank the city councilors, the other elected officials and appointed officials, or people who work in government who do not. Just we made it out through. I personally found it very helpful to read children's books from the Forest Library. This is a local book. It's a local author named Jane Yolen, illustrated by Karen Lee Schmidt, Hop Toad. So I think we live in a society with too much information, too much stimulation, so you gotta have a cycle, up cycle and down cycle, and I think this is a really nice way to relax. So I think with the New Year's Eve and all these holidays coming up, I think maybe you'll all have some time to relax and maybe read some children's book. It's at the Forest Library basement, the children's section. Thank you. Have a good, Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next is Lori Loisel.
Hi, everyone. My name's Laurie Loisel. I live in Northampton. And I tonight want to sincerely thank departing counselors who worked hard for the good of our city. Councilor Jarrett, you have shown stellar leadership at a time when it was badly needed, and your knowledge of parliamentary procedure helped meetings run smoothly. Councilor Moulton, I always counted on you to bring the conversation back to salient facts of the matter, and you're a model for coming to a meeting prepared. Councilor Elkins, I appreciated your breadth of knowledge about legislative matters, your intelligence, and the important work that led to the creation of the Reparations Committee. And Councilor Barge, thank you for your unparalleled devotion to not only your ward, but all of Northampton. I also thank those of you who are staying on for your service to the community, Councilors Perry, Clemmer, Maori, and Dubs. It's a difficult time to be engaged in public office. You get blamed for things that are not in your control. You often don't hear appreciation when you get things right. So I just want to thank you for all your work.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak? Yeah. We're going to go on Zoom first. Masaborski. Your name and city or town, please.
Melissa Makaborski, I live in Northampton. Very briefly, I just want to say thank you to all of the counselors who kept people at the center of their work. Quaverly, Rothenberg, you know this means you. We'll see you in the next cycle. Thank you.
Thank you. Come on up. Yeah, your name and city or town, please.
Good evening, Scott Jackson, Northampton, and Amy Bookbinder has asked me to complete her statement.
Great.
And my eyesight is not much better than hers probably, so I'll do my best. I haven't seen it before. It begins here. Last week, at the last school committee meeting of this term, a censure was put forth by 2 school committee members and approved by the mayor for the 2 members returning next term. After public outcries against censoring them, the censures were withdrawn with an apology for a mistake and the division it caused in the city. Quaverly apologized for mistaken votes she made against a council resolution and then changed her vote. So I ask you, council, where is your apology for censoring Quaverly? Maybe you prefer to deal with a defamation lawsuit against you. And where is the Gazette's apology for mentioning the censure every time her name was mentioned in their articles throughout the campaigns? Your censure on dubious grounds was shameful, if not ableist and conspiratorial, and in the opinion of many, led to her losing her seat on this council. Those of you who continue to treat her the worst with the worst contempt, rudeness, disrespect, and attempted silencing will not be returning to this council either, for which I am thankful. And finally, I hope our new council will not repeat your misguided, uncivil behavior towards your colleagues or the people of Northampton or for democracy itself. Good night and good luck. Signed, Amy Bookbinder.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak? Come on up.
Hello, everyone. I'm Virginia Ahern. I live in Northampton, Ward 1. I want to say thank you, Alex Jarrett. Thank you to everyone on a slightly different note.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. George Cohout. I'm also on State Street in Northampton, Ward 1. I'm Councilor's Mayor. Mary Ann, can you take any more accolades? It's been a great treat to be able to work with you the past 28 years. Someone else mentioned, I think the many citizens in the city don't understand how many hours our councilors put in. The subcommittee meetings you've gone to, the neighborhood meetings, I'm sure if we stretch them around the globe, it'd go a couple of times. So thank you very much for all your hard work. And Marissa, I had a chance to work with you on the planning board, which was just wonderful. And I think you brought a lot of those skills and perspectives to the city council debates. I hope you enjoy the next years with your family with a little bit extra time. Stanley, my neighbor and Ward 1 councilor, thank you also for not only a great informative newsletter, but also being very responsive to everybody in Ward 1. And as someone else said, coming to every meeting really well prepared and well spoken. So thanks. And lastly, Alex, you know, your partner said it all. I wish I could copy that, but I want to thank you for, you know, you're a bit of a wonky guy, and I think you wear that with pride. You and Marissa did some great jobs on revising some of our ordinances, our city ordinances, whether it was lighting or around housing, around zoning, and we really appreciate that work of yours. And just for, you know, waving the progressive banner here in Northampton, which I think always needs to be kind of held high. So thank you very much for your years. And all the other councilors who are coming on again, good luck and God bless. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jen Neri. I'm in Ward 3. Times are very difficult across the country. Everyone is super stressed out everywhere at every level. And cities this size are particularly pinched. So I know that you guys have worked really, really hard to make things as good as they can be here against great odds. So thank you very much. I know many of you have paid a toll in terms of your well-being, in terms of your family. I really hope some of you are going to have a shorter time than others to have a break, but I really hope that the next steps are focused on getting some peace. Thanks.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak? Okay, thank you all very much. We will take a recess, come back at 7:58. Thank you. Welcome back to the Northampton City Council, our last meeting of the term. Next on the agenda is announcements, and I'm going to take the rare privilege that I have of calling on myself first, and then we'll go to all the others. So thank you. It's been an honor to be your council president this term through all our challenges and accomplishments, and I have something for every counselor and others as well. So Councilor Elkins, it's been wonderful to work together on the zoning ordinances. We did some things and also resolutions. I really appreciate your eloquent discourse on the challenges that our city is facing, the difficult financial situation. So thank you so much. Councilor Perry, I appreciate your tireless work on the recognition of that the success of the city and success of our downtown are linked. And I appreciate your candor, your willingness to slow things down and get all the information and viewpoints. And thank you so much. Councilor Moulton, your researched and thoughtful decisions and your newsletters, your analysis of our decisions, of everything that comes before us, helped me to consider many angles on every issue. So thank you. And it was fabulous to co-sponsor and work together as well. Councilor Clemmer, I loved working together with you on Transportation and Parking Commission. All of your work seeking input from constituents, you're getting the facts out there, your newsletters, and also working on resolutions together. It's great. Councilor Rothenberg, I appreciate your passion and your tenacity and your desire for a better Northampton. Councilor Dubs, your commitment to moving accessibility for everyone forward, the recognition that it is for everyone, and the work on sidewalk snow clearing, which is something that, before I was a counselor, I was working and advocating for, and I'm very excited that you're carrying that forward, and I hope we see significant change in that. But just in general, your considered and values-centered decision-making. Marianne, your nonstop work for constituents. I know that you and I both know how long it sometimes takes to get results. I remember years ago, we walked Florence Road together, which is one of our ward boundaries. And it's great to see those improvements finally coming. And communication. You let me and city staff know exactly what concerned your residents and never stopped advocating. And I think about your 28 years versus my 6 years, and I just am so impressed by how much you have accomplished over the years. Councilor Maori, it's been such an honor to share leadership with you. When with almost every leadership decision, I tried to consult you and seek your counsel. It was so helpful to talk through many difficult decisions that we had to make. So thank you. You have been a steady collaborator for 6 years, like our work on climate, our work on public safety, on many other issues. I've so appreciated working with you. And you often give me a ride home, and I love those rides home after I take the bus in. I love those rides home and our debriefing after that, too. Mayor Shera, thank you for your work as a counselor, which you were when I first was on the council, and as mayor. I've appreciated the tough decisions you've had to make. I know how hard the last 2 years especially have been. You've moved so many amazing projects forward, Some, we saw the beginnings of when I first came, and it's great to see them moving. And I'm grateful for your work. Finally, Laura, thank you so much. Your work, of course, is essential, both the day-to-day, but also the institutional knowledge that you have brought with your years and years in city government. And I will miss working with you. Thanks. So there's a bit of a tradition of a song at the last council meeting of the term. And you may wonder, is this one going to be about canine feces? Is it going to be about traffic calming? Well, 6 years ago, this song, the song that was running through my head was You Can Get It If You Really Want by Jimmy Cliff. And that was the year that, in 2019, that I got married. I ran for election for the first time and won. And this year and moving forward, I'm excited to work on depolarization work, to look at the divisions that that we see both nationally and locally. And so I want to work to help heal divisions and to understand each other better. And our local chapter of Braver Angels is a great place to start if folks are looking for movement on that. So I have an adapted version of that song about this work. And I need a drink for it.
I'm so impressed if that was a flask.
That would be a change. Okay. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want, but you must try and try and try. You'll succeed at last. New perspectives we must learn. There's no person we should spurn. Listen carefully and you will find a thoughtful treasure from their mind. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want, but you must try and try and try. You'll succeed at last. I know that there's anger and pain. We may think the other's insane. Facts are real, and I know if we talk, we'll see each other and open the lock. We can get each other if we really want. We can get each other if we really want. We can get each other if we really want, but we must try and try and try. We'll succeed at last. We can get each other if we really want. We can get each other if we really want. We can get each other if we really want, but we must try and try and try. We'll succeed at last. Thank you. All right, Councilor Rothenberg.
First, I want to acknowledge and hold space for the family members and the friends of the woman who died in the fire, and also for Local 108 and our mutual aid partners. I know that you guys work very hard and do everything that you can, and I'm sure this is hard for you as well. Tonight is my last City Council meeting as the representative of Ward 3. The past 2 years have been eye-opening, often troubling, but very worthwhile. As many of you have witnessed, my term has not been easy. As an openly autistic counselor, I've been met with scorn for seeing things differently and expressing myself in ways that don't conform to the social expectations of Northampton's political establishment. Unfortunately, some people in that establishment went beyond just expressing ordinary disdain and took extraordinary measures to attack my character and my reputation during an election year. So, tonight I want to let the people of Northampton know that I'm suing Council President Jarrett, Councilor Elkins, Councilor Moulton, and the Northampton City Government. The lawsuit arose from the censure that they carried out against me, an unprecedented occurrence in our city, although a similar fate nearly befell 2 of my colleagues on school committee last week. The City Council's baseless but very specific allegations included the crime of public corruption. Public, these P's are hard on this mic, public corruption, arising from my call to dispatch to report a dangerous, icy road, which ultimately was closed after the responding officer slipped and fell. Initially, I sent a cease and desist letter demanding a retraction, but the city attorney responded incorrectly that city councilors are free to accuse me of potentially committing crimes, because such allegations are merely opinions whose truth and falsity is irrelevant. So, the city and the 3 councilors who authored the resolution have been served, and I look forward to a fair trial in a court of law to show that I have done nothing wrong, and in fact, they have. My hope is that going forward, we can all remember that disagreeing is part of our jobs, not a crime. All that said, I want the public to know that I am heartened and encouraged by the changes in political culture that I have been witnessing and proud to be a part of in our community. And I appreciate so very much all of you who speak with an open heart, a curious mind, and a firm conviction that we deserve real democracy. It has been an honor, Ward 3, to serve you, and I hope that my legacy as a counselor will be that of someone who pushed for accountability and transparency, and for the council to assert itself as a co-equal branch of government, and to emphasize the value of centering the voice of the public and the needs of our most vulnerable neighbors in every decision that the city makes.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Who's next? Councilor Perry.
Well, oh, sorry about that, Councilor Elkins. Well, this is unfortunately our last meeting, so once again, I just want to let folks know there's a great time to enjoy your community, and that is first night. It's a time where I feel like Northampton really gets to shine. It is Wednesday, December 31st. It's going to be full of music, theater, family-friendly performances, fireworks at 6:15. Our traditional ball raising, what was going to happen at the Hotel Northampton. Buttons are available not only here in Northampton, but throughout other certain locations in Western Massachusetts. For all the information you need, you can go to firstnightnorthampton.org. And hopefully I see some folks out there enjoying it. And to all of my fellow counselors, I will just say thank you for this term. I've learned a lot in so many ways from each and every one of you, and for everyone who's leaving, I will miss you dearly. There is nothing like coming together with people you haven't known before and working for the city, and so I'm just thankful for your service. And while you now go on to the Valhalla of counselors, you may return in the future, but just know that you will always be here close to my heart. So thank you all.
Thank you. Councillor Elkins, then Councillor Labarge.
I don't have a sports score to report tonight. There are sports, but nobody's won a championship, I think, this week. I just want to take a moment to, acknowledge and just say this has been a tremendous honor and my privilege to serve the city of Northampton. I don't think there are not going to be very many things in my life I will do that has been as consequential, and how much I value the trust that voters put in me to let me come here for the 2 terms that I did. I have learned a tremendous amount, and I have worked very hard to come always prepared, always ready to know my own mind, but also to listen and move my position when I needed to, and hold firm when I felt like that was also the appropriate vote. So I just want to say that that's been a tremendous honor. I want to thank Laura. I think you just, she keeps us together. So for the 4 years that I've been on the council, she's constantly running me down for that email to schedule things and so forth. I want to thank all of the city staff and the department heads. I could not be more in awe of your work, your commitment to this city. We are giant pains in the ass sometimes, candidly, and all of you work as hard as you can to make this city go according to the ways that we come as collectively as we can and tell you we want it to go. I have learned, I don't know, I feel like I've got a mini degree in city planning by working with Carolyn Mish over the years. I have, and working on the zoning interest that I truly care about so much. I'm going to come back to you. I have seen pictures of the most disgusting things that are in our sewer system and black things, and the intricacies of of just the colossal amount of effort and expertise and that it takes to keep our infrastructure running, and the commitment of our firefighters and our chief and police, and just really every department to keep our city running and safe and healthy, and just doing really the best we can under increasingly difficult circumstances. So I appreciate all of you. I want to just say, I think every counselor that I worked with, as I said, it's just been such an honor. Alex, Jim Nash, Rachel, such tremendous leadership to get us through these difficult terms. And, I have it's been an honor to serve alongside all of you. I'm not going to add more to the Marianne Parade, except for to say what a privilege to have served even a fraction of the time you've served with you, which I calculated to be 1/7 of the time that you served. Mayor, I'm so glad that we have you for another 4 years. I know it's hard to bring the city together. We're not always all rowing in the same direction, but I am confident that you are the leadership that we need to continue doing the good work that we do, holding firm in difficult times, and to see us through another 4 years. I have been proud to work alongside with you as a co-equal member of government. And then the last but not, certainly, definitely not least, they're watching tonight. In 4 years, my wife has not come to a single meeting, and that's okay. But Tara and Bess, I think, are watching on the YouTube tonight, and they have. I think a lot, all you know, but our families really do give up a lot of time with us, and you know, I've attended meetings on Zoom while making dinner. I have missed things that I wanted to attend, you know, for her, and you know, for Bess, and you know, it is all of us here. I mean, everybody makes sacrifices. Those of us with school-age kids, you know, we feel it keenly. So I just want to thank them. I feel like it's an Oscar speech. Go to bed. But I'm looking forward to having some weeknights back with my family. But I've appreciated that they let me come and do this good service for this good city and for all these good people. So anyway, that's all.
Thank you. Councilor Labarge. Microphone.
Okay. Counselor, our president, I want to thank you for who you are. And that's from my heart. You have worked tirelessly as our council president. I think that you are extremely knowledgeable of the budget, and it's amazing how well you explain it and you're helping people. Also having meetings on wards. And I've heard many people say, thank you, Counselor, for your council president doing what he's doing. I find that your voice has become stronger, and that makes me feel better. And it's like, I think by having a little stronger voice makes it easier for a council president. Sometimes you can try to be as nice as could be, and sometimes that does not work. And it's like, sometimes you have to put the foot down, no matter if it's me or any counselor. Bang, 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 right? And I also want to say to Counselor Elkins, who I will miss dearly, and I know many other counselors will also. Without your knowledge, I don't know also what we do without you. And I appreciate that. I respect you. I hate to see you go, but I can see why.
We'll hang out on Thursdays together.
Okay, okay. So anyways, Counselor Perry, I want to thank you directly who you are. You are respectful, have a head on your shoulder, and I hope that you continue on. And hopefully at some point become council president or vice president, because that's where you belong. I think that it's very difficult to have a head on your shoulder when things are not going the way they should go. And you do it all with respect. And I tell you from my heart, thank you for who you are. And Councilor Moulton, thank you dearly. I think that you have been a great asset also to our city council. Taking minutes like for Rachel or whoever, for Laura, is extremely valuable. And I think of your being a journalist is extremely helpful here for city council. And thank you for who you are. Believe me, I respect you. And Councilor Debbie, I will miss you dearly, but bang, 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 hi Deb. And you know what, you work tirelessly. And you know, you have meetings with your residents, and that's the right way to go. Believe me, keep it up. And I'd love to see you as council president eventually, okay? Because it's who you are. and you work tirelessly every day. I know. You know, you don't stop. And that is, I'll tell you, very appreciative. And also, I have to say, Councilor Dubs, thank you for who you are. And I am happy that you are helping out on the Commission on Disabilities. It's not easy. I was on it for a long, long time, but sidewalks are so important and safety for all people with all different forms of disabilities. Thank you. And also, Rothenberg, I want to thank you also. And hopefully that we all move on and we do what we have to do with respect and dignity. And that's the way it should be for everybody, everybody. And also, I want to thank Rachel Mayori for who you are. And hopefully, at some point, you will get a really good job. And I've always said this to you with, you know, with the health department in the state right down the line with all the degrees that you have. But thank you for who you are also. I appreciate that. And at last, I want to thank our council clerk, Laura Klutzler. I can tell you right now, out of all the people that we had as council clerks, have never had so much added on to her. We are very, very fortunate. You can see when she has to leave here late at night, take a look at her, how tired she is. You know? Just take a look. She looks exhausted.
We do keep her up late.
Huh?
We keep her up late.
Yes, we do. You know, she told me she's used to going to bed for 8 o'clock at night. Well, that's not going to happen at city council, and she knows that. But it's all the extra work added on to her. And the meetings galore. I can't tell you, Laura, how I respect you and appreciate everything you have done ever since you've been our city council clerk. And if you'd like to be a city councilor, you should try for it. Move to Northampton. And I think I hit everybody except for the mayor. Mayor, I have worked with you for how many years? As a councilor at large, and also as a mayor. And I want to say thank you for who you are. You know, I think all of us councilors will agree with me of what has happened here in our city of Northampton. You know, we can disagree, but we need to do it with respect and dignity, no matter who we are in the city. And I want to thank you for putting your head up and taking all the abuse and the bullying that you have gone through, which is unacceptable here. How can our city work together if we cannot have respect for each other, even though we disagree? And I recall Councilor Maiori, I, and Karen Foster didn't agree with you on an issue. What did we do? We didn't have to do it, but we did. We brought in our ordinance, which was putting a limit on marijuana shops in Northampton. We didn't have to come to you, but we did with respect, and that's the way it should be done. And you told us outright you didn't agree with it. And we said, you know what, Mayor? We're the ones that are getting all the calls from our residents and our wards versus what you're getting. And we've done tremendous research of bringing forth what we got from, I can't remember her name at the high school. She was excellent. She had her doctorate's degree, and she dealt with that, with the research and helped us out. She was excellent. But you did it with respect. And I feel that's very valuable with a mayor. And that's what you are. You're respectful. I know, because I've worked with you for so long. And I don't care. If it continues on with you being bullying, I will become very vocal, because it needs to stop in this city. Everybody needs to work together, period. And I also want to talk To our finance director, Chardine, the same with you. Respect and dignity. And I know that you were hurt a couple of times. It showed on your face very easily. And it's like you didn't deserve it. And I even called you the next day to tell you that that should have never happened. And also now, Alan Wolf. I want to thank you. At least if I call, you call back, or if you're in your office, I talk to you. And you're very respectful, and I thank you for that. And I know you're a team, and you're a good team. And I will, believe me, I'll be back. And I'll see you again. And I'll be visiting the mayor in her office, and you, and I'll checking you on, see how you're doing. But have nice holidays. Thank you for who you are, all three of you.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Moulton.
Thank you. Well, there's a lot that's been said tonight, and there's a lot that could be said tonight, but I'm going to confine my remarks to also giving thanks. First, I want to thank my constituents who put their faith in me for these last 4 years. And I want to especially say I appreciate, not just for my constituents, but for anyone in the city who reached out and wanted to engage with me. The vast, vast majority, 99.9% of that was done in a very civil way. And that doesn't mean, civility does not mean that we're trying to silence critics. It means that we're willing to listen, hear, and consider differing points of view, but in a respectful manner. And I appreciate all of those engagements that I had with people in my ward and throughout the city. And I learned from you, and I hope that you learned from me. I also want to thank the hundreds of people in the city who volunteer to serve on our many, many multi-member boards and committees. As chair of city services for these past 2 years, I've been in a position to get to know them and appreciate the diversity in many ways that they bring to our boards and commissions, and their willingness to serve in a volunteer position. So thank you. I want to echo what Councilor Elkins said about department heads, too numerous to mention, but all of you who I have worked with are consummate professionals, and the city is very, very fortunate to have you. I appreciate all of you who are here tonight, but to have you working for Northampton. You work long hours responding to the city's challenges with compassion, creativity, and collaboration. I was very happy to see both Jim Nash and Karen Foster here tonight. I appreciate, again, their having provided such inclusive and distinctive leadership during my first term. To my fellow councilors who have been committed to working diligently to problem solve in an effort to make this community a better place for all, and to work to address the many, many challenges that we face here. Thank you for working respectfully together, and I appreciate, although we didn't always agree on all the issues, we did treat each other in a respectful manner, and we had the goal of making this community better for all. And I particularly want to thank Alex and Rachel for their very inclusive leadership. They made sure that everyone felt a part of the council, and this was a very difficult 2 years. But I appreciate all of what they brought to their leadership roles. So thank you, Alex and Rachel. And I will pause here to offer a few words about Mary Ann. I did not write a poem, nor did I bring a color guard with me, but you are one of a kind, Mary Ann, and you're a woman with a big heart. You were always available for anyone in your ward, but really throughout the city who needed a hand. And your care particularly for the most vulnerable most vulnerable people in the community is really irreplaceable. You know, I've known you for a long time. We've served together for 4 years, but I have such admiration and respect for you, Mary Ann. I also want to thank Laura Krutzler, who I actually first got to know when I worked at the Gazette. Laura worked part-time for the Gazette, and that was many decades ago. But you are the glue that holds the city council together, Laura. And you're always there. You're always so helpful in getting information for us, and you have that institutional knowledge that is really invaluable. It's been a real pleasure to renew my acquaintance with you and to work with you for these past 4 years. Finally, Mayor Scherer, your leadership has been inspirational during this particularly challenging post-pandemic time. And now, when we have a federal government that's not only dismantling the Constitution, but dismantling the economic and social safety nets that so many people depend on, your progressive, visionary leadership has resulted in a long list of accomplishments. The creation of the Division of Community Care, the Climate Action and Project Administration, preparation for Picture Main Street that will help revitalize our downtown and make it safer and more inviting, support for more than 280 new affordable housing units, and providing a $10.7 million investment in the Northampton Public Schools over these past 4 years. It has been an honor to serve with you, Mayor. Thank you. So thanks to all those people. It's a second career for me, and I've enjoyed most of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Clemmer.
I've enjoyed working with everybody. This is my first term. It's been very interesting. And Councilor Moulton, I think the first adventure we had was working on the dingle, which was successful. We cleared it out. Yeah, the dingle was great. It was really great to have you and Councilor Perry come out and show me how it's done. And I was very, very new. And just to watch you take notes the whole time is pretty fascinating, and how thorough you are with everything that comes up during the meetings. Councilor Elkins, I enjoyed working with you too. I learned a lot, and your legal knowledge was invaluable for and your perspective on a lot of issues. So I appreciate everything you've done. And Councilor Jarrett, you had a tough first term, but I enjoyed working on transportation and parking, and working on some things, the borders that we shared from our wards. And you were just so easy to work with, and just wanted to help people and get the issue taken care of. And I think you came into this as a hard term to be a council president, and I think you did a great job, and your even tone and just your knowledge of everything was valuable. So appreciated working with you these couple of years. And Mary Ann, the morning phone calls are great. You put in a full day, and I'm, making coffee, but and you've done loads of laundry, made a pie, and visited people. So already, you make me feel like a slug. But I've learned a lot. You've been awesome and a great mentor for me for my first term, and I'm still gonna reach out when I have questions. And we've disagreed, but I respect your opinions, and we've always come back and moved on. So I just really appreciate you. You're a great person, really caring, and I enjoy hearing about the whole LaBarge family, and I feel like I know them all, and I'll keep in touch for sure. And I look forward to working with everybody again, department heads and new counselors next term.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Dubs.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, I just want to say it's been an honor to serve the city during my first term, and I've learned a lot from each and every one of you, including the outgoing counselors. It's just been an honor to work with you. You all teach me how to be a better counselor, and I appreciate that. And to the counselors that I will be working with in the next term, I'm very much looking forward to working with you again and to finding out what we can accomplish together. And so just thank you to everybody. And yeah, it's been an honor. Thanks.
Thank you. Counselor Maori.
Okay. Well, I know we want to get on to our meeting, but so I'll keep it brief. Oh, and I also need to announce the tractor parade, December 27th. That's going to be a tough job. I'm a judge, and boy, I hear Ben Spencer's also going to be working with me, so hopefully we'll be able to make those tough decisions, but it's going to be going through Florence Center, going through Look Park, so we really hope you could come out and support our farmers and cheer on the beautiful decked out tractors. And yeah, so reflecting on this term, it's just, I can't, when you said this is your first term, it feels like it's been like 10 years. I don't know how that happened. Wow. And I think about, I was thinking about projects I've done with each one of you and how great they are. But really what I'm left with is just those moments in between, people's really good sense of humor. Marianne, you have a great sense of humor and dance moves and at break.
You better watch out. You might be driving a tractor.
Yeah, there you go. Wow.
Be careful.
We all should watch out if I'm driving. And so just those moments in between, the moments in between that people some of us knew each other and some of us didn't, and we have to rely on each other, and that's how it works. It's lonely sometimes, but has to be collaborative too. I just want to say, especially to the outgoing counselors, it's been an honor. I've learned something from each of you. Thank you for, it's an honor serving with you on legislative matters. Stan, 4 years of finance together. I think you made it to an incredible, committee, and you made it. I just felt reassured to have you there, and with your really incisive thoughts and always putting engagement with our residents first. So I really appreciate that. And to the returning counselors, I am so glad that you are returning. Counselor Perry, Counselor Clemmer, Counselor Dobbs, because we're losing some greats here, and I'm just really glad to have you by my side. So thank you, and thank you also to Laura. I try not to make you into my therapist, but it's not just the work you do for council. You're a pleasure to interact with. Yeah, thank you. Yes, and thank you. Yeah, and thank you to the mayor's office and all the department heads. You've been gracious, and you have patience that I will never have. Having to repeat yourself often, and I appreciate it, though. It makes us better counselors and makes us a stronger council. And, Alex, how dare you? How dare you? I can't even look at you right now. How are you doing this? I didn't even write anything up because I'm in the stage of grief before the one of acceptance. But I just can't believe, 6 years, and it's like we met each other on a campaign trail, and we had bikes with our signs on the back, and then we served on energy and sustainability.
And we went through pandemics and upheaval and tough decisions. And you've been my running mate this whole time, and then this whole term as council leadership. You are a stellar president. You are noticeably lacking in ego, and I think that's amazing in elected culture. So, I've learned an incredible amount from you, and you've just been an amazing friend. I really don't know how I'm going to do it without you. It's been 6 years. You're in my council DNA, but thank you. It's been a real honor.
Thank you. Mayor Shara.
Good evening, councilors. I also want to take the opportunity to thank all of the councilors for your work this term. I very much look forward to working with the returning councilors. I want to give great thanks to the departing councilors for your work and your dedication. Every voice has an impact, and that is the beauty of democracy. Some of you I have worked with as colleagues on our separate branches of government, and I thank you for your service to our constituents. Thank you, Councilor Rothenberg, for your 2 years of service and your passion. Councilor Elkins and Councilor Moulton, I've had the privilege of serving with you for the entirety of my first term as mayor, and we have worked on many important issues and projects together. And I thank you for the many ways that you have moved this city forward and for the sacrifices that you have made. It is truly a tremendous body of work that you have accomplished in these 4 years. For Council President Jarrett and Councilor Labarge, as was said, I have had the honor of serving with you as colleagues on the council together and also as mayor. We have experienced a great deal together. I will never forget logging on to our first Zoom meeting on March 19th, 2020, the Thursday after everything locked down on March 13th, with Councilor Maori and with Laura. I remember hand delivering your budget books that year and wiping them down and leaving them outside your door and waving through the window, and staying up almost all night with you in our respective homes in meetings that went long into the morning. We have been through a great deal together. Council President Jarrett, thank you for your leadership, your equanimity, and the remarkable time and care that you have devoted to this work. I will dearly miss your newsletter. I know many people will miss your newsletter. It has truly been an honor to work closely with you these last 2 years, and I will really miss our twice-a-month meeting together for the good work and the great conversation, but also just for the joy of spending time with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor Labarge. We have served together for 12 years. So I also did sort of a calculation that is less than half of your service to the city. I know that Shirley Chisholm was one of your role models and heroes. Her most famous quote, of course, is the truly wonderful quote that if they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. But it is actually another quote attributed to her that I think exemplifies you, City Councilor Mary Ann Labarge. And that is, service is the rent that you pay for room on this earth. Councilor Labarge, you live that ethos. It is how you have served your beloved Ward 6 and the entire city. It is what drives you when you deliver turkey baskets for holidays, check in on your residents who are having a tough time, and answer each and every call, and fight for your residents, or as former Mayor Mary Ford said today, fight for your people. I also want to acknowledge and thank your family. As we know, and as Councilor Elkins noted, this kind of service often takes one away from family events. And I don't know anybody who has more family than Councilor Labarge. Your husband, Rich, and your sons, Richard and Chris, have been tremendous supports, but they have also sacrificed a lot for your service over the years. Their pride and their love for you is so evident, and one of my favorite examples is the voicemail message that you hear when you call the Labarge house. It is Rich Labarge informing you that you have reached City Councilor Mary Ann Labarge, and concludes with his iconic "Have a sparkling day." I want to thank Sidney Fahey in the mayor's office and City Clerk Pam Powers and Forbes. I don't think he's here anymore, but he was here before. Forbes Library local history specialist Dylan Gaffney for the research that they have done on this topic. Northampton was incorporated as a city in 1884, but the use of a city council began in 1958. Before then, there were aldermen and common council systems used in Northampton. Since there has been a city council, Councilor Mary Ann Labarge, who first took office in January 1998, is the longest serving city councilor in Northampton history. It is my great privilege to recognize your remarkable career of service. And like others have said, I can say there will never be another like you. And I would now like to present to you a plaque in recognition of this historic service to the city of Northampton. There is a letter of thanks from Forbes Library, one from the Planning Department, and also from the Rotary Club, and a present from Central Service.
Right. Thank you all so much. Okay, let's move on to our main agenda. Next is presentations. And the first one is the Northampton High School Road Safety Project update. And do we have Director Donna Lascalia with us tonight? Yes, welcome, Director.
Okay. Hi again. Tough act to follow. Yeah, go ahead. Or maybe a llama. It's a tough act to follow. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't want to rush people. All right. But we have a night ahead of us, so let's get started.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Director.
Yeah, the mayor will.
I'm just going to
Okay.
start us off. So tonight's presentation from DPW Director Donna Lascalia is on the safety issues around the Northampton High School at Elm Street, Woodlawn Avenue, and North Elm Street. And this reflects years of work, extensive public input, and a return to the core purpose of this project, which is improving safety for everyone who travels through that high school corridor, but particularly the goal of safely getting students and others across the street there. You may remember that the crash analysis conducted by Fuss and O'Neill showed each intersection in the study area experiencing roughly 1 to 2 crashes per year over the past 5.5 years. One of these crashes resulted in a bicyclist death at North Elm and Woodlawn. 2 others involved pedestrians at North Elm and in Elm. These incidents created a clear and urgent mandate for safety improvements. As we work towards solutions, feedback from early planning sessions, Transportation and Parking Commission discussions, City Council meetings, PTO meetings, and meetings with school leadership revealed a wide spectrum of perspectives. Over the course of these conversations, community members naturally coalesced into groups with different priorities, notably bicyclists and high school parents, whose strongly held and often competing views shaped the discussion. Those differences ultimately helped us develop a further understanding of the corridor's needs. After listening closely to all who participated, we have refocused the project on the essential safety improvements originally envisioned and developed a balanced plan that reflects the concerns and priorities we heard throughout the process. So I thank Director LaScalia for being here, and I will hand it over to her to walk us through the project.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. So the design for the upgrades to the Route 9 corridor in front of the high school have been in progress for about 15 months. And as the mayor mentioned, we've engaged in a lengthy process around assessing existing conditions and gathering public input in so many different forums, and then refining our design to get to a place where the project is nearly ready to bid. So for those who have followed the progress, you may recall that our design engineer, Fussin O'Neill, recommended a wide range of improvements to enhance safety really in a radius around the high school, including signalized intersections on Route 9, the restoration of the old bus loop directly in front of the high school, and a reconfiguration of the intersection of Milton Street and Riverside Drive. So our available funding is roughly $1.5 million in ARPA funds, which must be fully expended by September 30th of 2026, and an additional $1.5 million from last year's capital plan. So we've worked to incorporate the public comments we've received into this design while being mindful of the original intent of this project. Ultimately, our greatest concern was for the safety of the students crossing the Route 9 corridor at pickup and dismissal, and for bicyclists riding through that same corridor on non-continuous bike lanes because there were parked cars both inbound and outbound on Route 9. So on the screen tonight is a rendering of what is close to the final design of the Route 9 corridor. There's a lot going on this rendering, and I'm not going to speak in graphic detail about it, but I'm instead going to highlight the important safety improvements that are going to be implemented as part of this project. I'm going to post this plan to DPW's website, and we're also going to make an updated frequently asked questions page that will reflect the project history and more detailed information that will be available on the DPW's website probably on Monday. So the primary safety improvement for this project is going to be the installation of 2 signalized intersections, one at Woodlawn Avenue and Route 9, and one at Elm Street and Route 9. There is going to be 2 sets of signals. They will be coordinated in timing, meaning that they will work together, and they will have what is referred to as exclusive pedestrian phasing. So that means that all cars in all directions will stop for pedestrian when the pedestrian push button is activated. So signalization is the highest form of intersection control. For this project, I'm often asked, why didn't we do a roundabout, or why didn't we just do a road diet and shrink the travel lanes, or why didn't we put in like a speed table and aggressive curb extensions? And the quick answer on this is that we always look for a trial of less restrictive measures. So we have implemented a school zone speed limit of 20 miles an hour. We have flashing beacons associated with that. We have separated bike lanes with Jersey barriers. We have restricted parking. We have RFBs for safe crossing at the main crossing on Elm Street. You know, we looked very carefully at a lot of different alternatives for this area. You know, a roundabout is not going to geometrically fit due to the proximity of Child's Park and other private properties. It would actually require eminent domain takings that would be subject to legislature approval. So, you know, ultimately we have determined that traffic signals are actually going to provide the safest scenario for students to cross the street. Everybody is going to stop, and students will have nearly 30 seconds to cross the street with all traffic in all directions stopped. So a couple more comments on the traffic signals. I mentioned that the signals at both intersections will be coordinated and they'll stop the traffic, as I just said. Current conditions are actually requiring a push-button activation of the RRFB, which is short for a rapid rectangular flashing beacon, at Elm Street, and then there's crossing guards who are trying to control free-flowing traffic in all directions. We also have to consider the current school bus, car, and bicyclist movements from the minor approaches of Woodlawn Avenue and Elm Streets onto Route 9. So because there is free-flowing traffic on Route 9, say that 12 times fast, even with a school zone limit of 20 miles an hour, left and right turn movements onto Route 9 for school buses, cars, and bicyclists are risky and difficult during high traffic times of student drop-off and pickup. So the signalization of both of these intersections is greatly going to improve the safety of all cross movements for school buses, for cars, for pedestrians, and for folks on bicycles. So a couple of other comments on this design. We have narrowed the travel lanes to reduce traffic speeds, and it is proven that narrow travel lanes do reduce traffic speeds. So the existing travel lane width on Route 9 is between 12 and 14 feet. That's going to be decreased to 11 feet, and the turn lanes on Elm and Woodlawn will be 10 feet. We do need to be very careful with the width of the travel lanes. This is a major arterial roadway. It's a numbered route. Takes very heavy truck traffic and a significant amount of car traffic on a daily basis. We do not want to create a road diet or shrink lanes in such a way that we're forcing trucks or other traffic into adjoining lanes, because it's creating the perception that things aren't wide enough, or even worse, into bike lanes. We're also going to be reconstructing the existing medians with new granite curbing and stamped concrete. That's going to further narrow the traveled way and create what's often referred to as a tunnel effect, which creates the perception that the road is narrow. So other pedestrian improvements in this corridor are going to include new ADA-compliant curb ramps, the shifting of the existing inbound bus stop slightly towards downtown. It's actually going to allow the PVTA bus to pull all the way off of Route 9, and an intentional shrinking of the crossing distances in the existing crosswalks. And again, the renderings, there's a lot going on in the rendering. It's a little bit difficult to see, but those crosswalks there represent a very big difference between what's going to be there and what's there now in terms of crossing distances. So targeted bicycle improvements are the installation of continuous protected bike lanes in both directions on Route 9 and on a small section of Elm Street approaching Route 9 immediately adjacent to the high school. I mentioned that we're proposing 11-foot travel lanes and 10-foot turn lanes. There's going to be a 4-foot concrete buffer with rumble strips, and we will be installing delineators in that concrete rumble strip. And then we're going to have 5-foot bike lanes through the project area. So that is roughly 9 feet of dedicated buffer for bicyclists. The pavement in this entire project area is going to be milled and overlaid to allow for high visibility restriping, and all new signage is proposed. So I'll be coming to the new council with ordinance change requests for parking restrictions on the inbound side of Route 9, because currently parking by ordinance is allowed there, but I've got Jersey barriers blocking it. And we're also going to be looking to restore the left turn movement from Woodlawn Avenue onto Route 9. And we also need to move that bus stop that I just talked about. So those will be discussed at TPC, and then I'll be coming to council with those. So with a project like this, and I talk about this with a lot of our projects, we need to be careful of something that is called scope creep. So this is a really important utility corridor for us. We have really old water, sewer, drain infrastructure. We have a lot of needs in a lot of places in the area around the high school. And if we try to engage in a major geometrical reconstruction or tackle too much at one time, the project becomes unaffordable because we need to address our utilities. Some of the utilities in this corridor were installed before 1900. So given our budget and our schedule, we're confident that the design of this project will improve safety in the ways that I have described and bring us back to our core mission of protecting the students as they're trying to move across the street and protecting bicyclists as they're trying to move through this corridor. The traffic movements and the volume of people moving through this corridor in a very compressed time frame twice a day is significant for those who have experienced pickup and dismissal. So we are confident that this project sort of hits these core needs of protecting the most vulnerable road users when they need protection. The public input that we've received has really been extensive, and it's guided the design process. We've done multiple iterations of this design and publicly talked about it, and I thank everybody who has participated in that process and worked with DPW on that. I did mention that the available ARPA funding must be fully expended by September 30th, 2026. We will be finalizing details on this plan in the coming days, not weeks, and this project is going to bid in January for as immediate construction as can be arranged. We have to spend this money by September 30th, and we need to move on this project, and it will be bidding in the coming weeks. So once this phase is complete, we will assess what we have for remaining funds and determine what the next steps in this area might be, where the highest needs are. But obviously would be taking a very close look at the intersection of Milton and Riverside and sort of pedestrian accommodations down there and sort of a strange traffic flow and patterns at that very confusing intersection. So thanks for listening, and I'm happy to take comments, questions.
Thank you, Director. Thank you. Yes, questions, comments from councilors. Councilor Rothenberg.
Can you tell me about what the public input has been on this design? It sounds like you used it to get to this design.
Yes, so we have had multiple renderings that looked like this, but an example is we didn't have a separated bike lane. So we had a striped bike lane. And so we refined the design, and we have now achieved a separated bike lane. We have taken public input where it's like, this crosswalk is too wide. You know, we want to see the crosswalk shrunk. So we've been able to decrease that crossing distance. So this is the final design based on all of the input that we have received.
And what would you say are the lingering concerns for some members of the public with this design?
I think that the separated bike lanes on Route 9 will restrict parking. And there are some members of the school community who park or who like to park in those spaces on Route 9 for pickup and drop off or for business that they might be conducting in the high school. I think there are also members of the school community who may queue up on Elm Street at Route 9. And the bike lanes are going to conflict with those sort of quick drop-off and pickups. And again, as part of the public process, we have competing priorities, but this is the safest design for bicyclists.
And so there's no mitigation for that parking problem or queuing problem?
The queuing problem is minor. The parking spaces, you know, in front of the high school to be lost, you know, it's not like we're talking about, 25 spaces or something. It's a queuing area in front of the park, adjacent to the bus stop, that is actually decreasing visibility and creating a scenario where it's more likely that there's going to be a conflict between a pedestrian and a bicyclist. In our professional opinion, the loss of these spaces is actually a benefit to the school community.
And just my last question on this, sort of tangentially related, is the geothermal project also going to reduce parking while it's going on?
I'm not running that geothermal project, so I can't answer that. But this is not any sort of permanent parking restriction. This project is not on high school property. It is not in the parking lot. It is not impacting the parking lot. This is strictly a corridor project adjacent to the high school.
Thank you. Other questions, comments?
I had one different line of question if there's no others.
Is there anyone else? Any other counselors? I have a comment. So thank you, Director, and also Director Mish. I've seen the effort that you have put into the alternatives for this project. I understand that compromises need to be made. I and others advocated for alternatives to stoplights, in part because stoplights do not slow the speed of traffic that's passing through, and the inevitable mistakes people will make are less serious at slower speeds. So I do appreciate that we have significant narrowing and the commitment to year-round bicycle lanes, which will achieve some of those objectives of slowing down the vehicles that are passing through the intersection. That is my comment. Okay, Councilor Rothberg.
Yeah, I just have two questions. One is about the two lights. Those are on streets that are just like 40 feet apart or something, right? So are those timed together?
They will be coordinated together.
Okay,
yes.
great. And then the other one is just what is the estimated cost differential between the protected bike lanes and non-protected bike lanes versions of this?
That's more of a maintenance issue. So to install a scored concrete buffer, which was our original intent, that was part of the plan. Our original plan was to not install physical barriers in that scored concrete. Physical barriers themselves are not particularly expensive, between $300 and $500 per post. So when you're talking about a $1.5 million project, plastic delineator post is not a huge expense. The issue is going to be the operations and maintenance cost associated with fixing the post when it gets hit. We did, and to further expand on that, we actually did install them in our backyard at Locust Street and ran them over daily, like with plows and pickup trucks and whatever we had. It was actually a really interesting sequence that we did that lasted several months because we just wanted to see kind of how much of a pounding it could take. And they do eventually break. And when they break, they become a maintenance issue, and then they have to be replaced. And sometimes the pavement actually has to be dug up in order to replace them. So to answer your question, the cost differential is going to need to be absorbed into the DPW's operating budget versus like some significant capital expense to install the physical barriers.
Thank you, Director. We appreciate your presentation.
Okay, thank you all. Good night.
Take care. Okay, we move on to our next presentation, the bullet point summary of Ordinance Review Committee recommendations. Councillor Dubs, will you be leading this?
Thank you. Yeah. So the Special Committee for the review of ordinances, we formed in we were appointed on March 6, 2025. It's basically to quickly explain what the committee is. It's a section was adopted. It's in accordance with our charter, and the section was adopted pursuant to the Northampton Special Act Charter, which requires review of ordinances every 5 years in the years ending in a 5 or in a 0. And so it's 2025, and so we formed the Ordinance Review Committee this term, and we're appointed by the three members of the city council were appointed by the council president. Those three members were me, Councilor Perry, who is the vice chair, and Councilor Moulton. And then there were two members of the public appointed by the mayor. And those were members Dane Cutler and Molly Moses. We met under the supervision of City Solicitor Alan Seawald. We held 17 virtual meetings by Zoom. Our last one was last night on the 17th, and there will be one more meeting, which will be very short, and it's just to approve our minutes from yesterday's meeting. So we also held 3 public forums. The first one was on June 30th, which was it's a general public forum on ordinance-related topics held in person at the Senior Center and by Zoom. On October 29th, we held a meeting which was a public forum on the topic of snow removal, particularly from sidewalks, clearing of sidewalks and curb cuts. November 12th, we had a meeting which was a public forum on 2 topics, the mobile food vendors and lighting ordinance. The committee solicited input on existing ordinances and any proposed new ordinances from all city departments, the members of the city council, and from the public. There was an opportunity for public comment at all our meetings. We received testimony and or documents from the mayor's office, the Office of Planning and Sustainability, the Department of Public Works, the Northampton Police Department, the Building Department, numerous downtown business owners, and from several members of the public with recommendations regarding proposed revisions to existing ordinances, deletion of ordinances, and addition of new ordinances. We also heard from the Disability Commission on the snow removal issue. We will, Councilor Perry is about to present Exhibit A and B, so I'll just explain what they are real quick. The ordinance proposals that the committee voted to recommend for enactment by the City Council, that will be in Exhibit A. Those are ordinances recommended for adoption, revision, or rescission. And then we also have Exhibit B, which will be topics recommended for further study. For example, the snow removal ordinance that we talked about, we heard from many different people, from the public, from department heads, and people we got input from a lot of people with different ideas, and the goal here is to come up with a comprehensive, like a collaborative strategy for clearing our sidewalks and curb cuts in a timelier manner that's happening currently. And so there's a lot of different opinions and ideas on how to do that. And so that particular ordinance review, for example, the ordinance itself is very strong and just needs more work on how we can better implement the ordinance. So that particular one will go to further study, and so we'll be talking about that a lot more on the Transportation and Parking Commission next term. And then there's the
Counselor, I'm sorry. Could you
Sorry.
just move your mic away from you a few?
Was it
inches?
too loud?
Yeah, it's just.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Thank you.
And then there's the mobile food truck ordinance, which we talked about, which also we heard had a lot of different opinions from the public and business owners, and so that one will also be for further study, and Councilor Perry will go further into that. Yes.
All right. I love that both myself, Councilor Moulton, and Councilor Dubs are really excited to talk about it. So
yes.
He's like ready to jump in. But before I go into sort of these first two exhibits, I just want to state that this time around was a little different than the last time we had an ordinance review. The last time that we had a review, we had just, the council had adopted a resolution in support of actions to combat public health crisis of systemic racism. So they really had a focused look at what ordinances we were going to look at. So this time around, we were a little different, and we had a broader spectrum. So part of what we did was, as Councilor Dubs said, is we solicited as much information as we could from the public as well as department heads. And because there was such a wide range, we kind of put them in different boxes. And so the first, as Councilor Dubs said, was ordinances recommended for adoption, revision, or rescission. And I'm not going to go through all of them. They are up here. We will discuss this with the next council, but I'm just going to look at a couple of these. One was the sign ordinance. As it says, Solicitor Seawald had let us know that our current ordinances were non-compliant with some Supreme Court cases. So thanks to the work of Director Mish and our planning department, we went over what our sign ordinance is. So that was an important one. We also really looked not only at snow removal and ice removal, but also vegetation, just really ways in which our public sidewalks were being hindered and ways to affect that. So we are suggesting that we really have some strong ordinances for that. And then we also went and looked at things that needed to be removed. There are a ton of ordinances. Some that we are planning or are recommending to be rescinded are things like our thumbing ordinance, which is for hitchhiking, which I talked to our chief of police and other officers, and they said that they see no need for that, so that is recommended. And then there are things such as there was an ordinance for hawkers and peddlers of fish, fruits, and vegetables, which not only was outdated and unnecessary, but it was also discriminatory. We have found also through some of the work in the reparations committee that there were certain things on the books that were not up to standards that we would have here in Northampton. Again, I'm not going to go through all of these, but I will move on. There are 7 different items that we had for adoption, revision, and rescission. Moving on to Exhibit B, Councilor Dubs kind of touched on these things, but they were things that we felt, while we did a lot of public outreach, we had very substantive conversations. There were things that I think we knew needed a little more discussion. Things I'll note are, for instance, an ordinance requiring posted notice on city-owned properties where pesticides or herbicides are applied. Right now, you have to have notice where if it's near a residential area or schools, but there is some concern about places where folks are our unhoused population. So whether or not we should start posting there. There was also another ordinance just about expanding notification for changes to zoning maps. Just looking at some of the feedback that we got from our residents about how we put out information. And then going to I think 2 of the bigger issues that came upon us were really close to us. One was our snow and ice removal. And so things that we found would be needed were just data collection, we believe that transportation and parking should really spearhead this movement. And a lot of it was talk about timely removal of snow. To have an ordinance is one thing, but enforcement, and there's a lot of moving parts for all of this. There was a discussion about the importance of curb cuts as well. There's one thing to plow a sidewalk, but then or clear a sidewalk, but then when a plow comes and covers up the curb cut, that's an issue. So that was one. And then another one, which had a lot of feedback and interest, was looking at our mobile food truck ordinances, and not in a way to just open the floodgates for food trucks, but looking at using food trucks as a tool to help our downtown, to bring business, to fill a gap where there's no food after certain hours. I have to give a special thanks to the mayor's office. Alan Wolf in particular came and presented. We did a small survey for some of the businesses and people in the city, and it was very informative, some of the data. And so what we are suggesting for that is possibly a select committee to look at the impact of what food trucks would have, to also solicit more information from the community and give maybe the city hall a little more time to actually put together a more robust sort of view of what would happen here. And again, there are 7 different recommendations that we have for further study. With that, we also have 2 more exhibits that I will pass along to Councilor Dubs.
Thank you, Counselor. So then the next exhibit we have are the miscellaneous referrals. Basically, these are all of the referrals that we got from members of the public who came to our public forum, and pretty much everything on here, or everything that we looked at on the committee, was recommended to us by somebody from the public, including the snow and ice removal, as you can see. So so then we have specific suggestions which are listed here. There's the section where they are, like the ordinance itself, and then the action suggested is on the right there. For example, the sweeping of sidewalks and abutting businesses on premises recommends review of this ordinance and addition of an ordinance requiring property owners to keep sidewalks clear of vegetation. We've also got ordinances that are suggested for removal, such as hitchhiking, as Councilor Perry mentioned, as well as one that's on swearing, swearing in public. That seems kind of outdated. We all swear in public, so. We also, the committee also, we solicited from all city departments and from the public more minor recommendations of a housekeeping nature. So that would be on the next exhibit, on the next 2 exhibits. Among those recommendations was a proposal to remove gender-specific references from the Code of Ordinances. Basically, these general ordinances clean up this list here. It's basically clarifying language and fixing typos that are in these ordinances. You can see they're pretty. Some of them are pretty minor. The first one here, this one's not minor. It's actually very important, which includes a person's. So it's basically, in an ordinance where a person's gender is mentioned, the suggestion is to consider to amend to be consistent with gender-neutral language, basically this list here is all a lot of it is just typos that need to be fixed, and then in the zoning ordinances that are suggested for changes. That is the other exhibit. The other exhibit is the zoning ordinance housekeeping changes, which again is just mainly just clarifying language that were recommended, and you can see them here. So basically that's basically it for that, and so we will be giving the full report to the new council next year, and. So any recommendations that we made will all be looked at by the next council. And so I would like to thank everybody on our committee. It's been amazing working with you, and we did a lot of work together. And I'm glad that we've gotten to this point, because we weren't really sure if we were going to be able to get it all done, because it was a lot of stuff to look at. So yeah. Anything else you want to add, Councilor Perry?
Yeah, I just want to thank, again, our members were the three councilors here, Councilor Moulton, Councilor Dubs, and myself, as well as members Moses and Cutler, and they did great work. I also want to just really thank, I know we've been giving a lot of praise to Laura, and she deserves it. Outside of the work that she does here for the City Council, she was part of the last review committee, and she brought that knowledge and expertise to bear for this time around. And I also want to thank Solicitor Seawald for steering us in the right directions. There are many times where we wanted to change something, and he was like, and I also want to thank, as part of some of the zoning changes, Councilor Jarrett, as well as Nathan Chung had put forward some of these changes as well, and all of the other department heads who worked on this. And it's rare that you, well, not rare, but sometimes you do work to give yourself more work. And I'm looking forward to diving into some of these changes with the next council. And I don't know if Councilor Moulton has anything to say, but I'm very thankful for being able to help you chair this, Councilor Dubs.
Yeah, thank you.
Councilor Moulton.
Thanks to Chair Dubs and Vice Chair Perry, and to Molly Moses and Dane Cutler. It was a great group working together. It's an exhaustive report. We captured every recommendation or every idea that came to us, and in one of those exhibits, you'll find it. And in that miscellaneous referral exhibit, if it doesn't show up on recommended for revision or rescission, or if it doesn't show up on further study, then we took no action on it. But everything's there, and that is largely due to Laura. So again, Laura, your work on this was huge, and there were also a couple of instances where we wanted more immediate action on concerns, and the one that stands out for me is regulating e-bikes, which is becoming a huge concern for communities everywhere. So actually it's George Kohout who brought that to us, and we suggested that he take it to transportation and parking because it needed more immediate attention. And so some of them moved ahead without being, having to sort of wait until the end of the ordinance review. But it was a great experience. Thank you.
Agreed. And yes, I'd also just like to thank Laura Kritzler for all the work. We would not have been able to do any of this without her. So thank you, Laura.
Thank you, committee members. This is great work. Are there any comments or questions from councilors? Councilor Maori.
Yeah, I'm just so impressed with the giant undertaking and the way it's organized. It's an incredible amount of work, especially when you're a sitting councilor and you've got subcommittees. I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing this. Distilling all that information and all those comments into actionable steps. It's impressive. And I'm really glad at least 2 out of the 3 of you are staying on, so we have that institutional knowledge. And just to say thank you for, I sent some constituents who've been interested in phasing out gas-powered leaf blowers. It's something I looked at with Karen Foster years ago. It's a complicated thing to do equitably, and this was the perfect kind of, place to unpack that, or at least begin to look at that. So I'm glad to see that there. So thank you. Thanks, councilors.
Councilor Elkins.
Yeah, so first of all, great work. Did an excellent job conducting the meetings, gathering the information, putting everything together. Laura, and your presentation tonight was excellent. I just wanted a note to those of you returning and to new councilors who are coming on board. Many of you've heard about the concept of like shovel-ready projects, of like, we do a lot of work to have something ready so that when the money comes, you can hit the ground running and get that grant or get the fund or get the bid out. This is shovel-ready legislation. And from the perspective of, having, written some legislation and, the work it takes to pull it through, I really hope to see you guys take some of these ideas and what strikes your fancy, what is, is significant to you, and really run with it, and take these things, across the finish line. You'll find that it's some of the most rewarding work you'll do on council. So anyway, great work, and I look forward to seeing how these things turn out.
Thank you. Okay, thanks very much for the presentation. Next is the consent agenda. I'm going to read items on the consent agenda and ask if there are any removals. The minutes of December 4th, 2025. 25.342, appointments to Arts Council and Trust Fund Committee, all positive recommendations from City Services. To the Arts Council, Clara Barnhart to fill a vacancy. To the Trust Fund Committee, Casey Quinn to fill a vacancy. 25.352, appointments to Northampton Housing Authority, positive recommendation from City Services. William Abrashkin filling the term of Maureen Carney. 25.356, an application for supervised display of fireworks on first night. Are there any removals? Okay, I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Motion made by Councillor Moulton and seconded by Councillor Labarge. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that passes unanimously. We come to financial orders on first reading. 25.359, an order to authorize payment of prior year invoices. Process note, 2 readings are respectfully requested. Director Nardi?
Yes.
Great.
Thank you. Yes, we have 2 invoices that has come to the city's attention that were not paid. One to Big Y for the amount of $34.74, and the second to Ernie's Garage in the amount for $35 for a state inspection. So I ask the council's consideration for approval to pay these out of the FY 2026 budget.
Are there any questions before I would entertain a motion to suspend the rules?
Suspend the rules.
Second that.
Yep.
Okay. Motion made by Councillor Labarge and seconded by Councillor Dubs to suspend the rules so that we may vote tonight. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That passes unanimously. I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Councillor Elkins and seconded by Councillor Perry to approve 25.359 in order to authorize payment of prior year invoices. Any discussion? Roll call, please, on approval.
Councillor Dubs.
Yes.
Councillor Elkins.
Yes.
Councillor Jarrett.
Yes.
Councillor Clemmer.
Yes.
Councillor Labarge.
Yes.
Councillor Maori.
Yes.
Councillor Moulton.
Yes.
Councillor Perry.
Yes.
And Councillor Rothenberg.
Yes.
That passes unanimously. Brings us to financial orders on second reading. 25.353, in order to reprogram Memorial Hall funds for citywide building portfolio upgrades. And this is in second reading. And I would entertain a motion to approve, to put it on the floor.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay. Motion made by Councillor Elkins and seconded by Councillor Moulton. Discussion, questions, or additional information? Councillor Rothenberg.
So I asked Alan Wolf to send me a breakdown of expenditures for the most recent work. And I was just wondering if anyone can explain why the 2 most recent big payments to Kiter aren't yet in open checkbook, and how that works and when we will see those.
Member of the mayor's team?
So, first, the invoices that are being referenced aren't for this agenda item. They're not, that's not the money that's being reprogrammed.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. So I just want to be clear, the money that is being the money that is being reprogrammed is actually not in this list because it was never spent. Is that why it was not under amounts appropriated at council?
So this is a separate project. This project was part of the FY 2025-26 SIP. We asked for $400 for the purpose of, excuse me? 400,000. 400,000, sorry, it's late. 400,000 for reconfiguring the Memorial Hall, which is a separate project. I believe what Councilor Rothenberg is talking about is the emergency repairs for the hall, which are separate appropriations.
Right, so if I could respond, I understand that there's many, many different financial orders that relate to Memorial Hall, right? It's an ongoing list of expenditures. I'm wondering if you would like to answer that question about why those aren't an open checkbook and when they will be there. And it may just be a process about how that accounting system works.
I don't think it's relevant to this item in hand.
But is it more important to bury your sword on the relevance than to not answer a question that would seem like it's avoiding just basic transparency? It's probably an easily answerable question. Is that the appearance we want to leave, or do we want to answer the question?
Council President, I believe that's out of order. We're discussing a different project. We're discussing different money.
I agree.
I just want to be clear that you had that choice. So that is how that kind of a response and that kind of objection can be viewed by the public. I don't think it's a good choice. I don't think
Councilor
it's a good
Rothenberg, a
look for
point
the
of order has
council.
been raised. Councilor Elkins,
It's
please
not worth
state your
it.
point of order.
It's not worth it.
Please, Councilor, you're out of order.
It's violation of open meeting laws to discuss things not on the agenda, which is why it needs to be.
Memorial Hall is
It
on the
is
agenda,
on-
Councilor Elkins.
Councilor Rothenberg, please do not speak until you are called upon.
My point of order is that it is a violation of open meeting laws to discuss things that are beyond the agenda item. And therefore, we should not discuss it. It's not an issue of transparency.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak or has questions, comments on this particular item?
I have questions.
Councilor Rothenberg.
How will the bidding for the new study project take place?
I didn't hear the question.
How will the bidding for the new study project take place?
There will be an RFP created, and it will be put out to bid
Okay, thank you.
according to procurement laws.
I have a question for council.
Council, meaning
Councilors.
councilors.
Yeah.
Go ahead, state your question.
I have a question.
Why do you feel that this should not be part of the SIP?
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak? Councilor Perry.
Yes. I believe the last time we discussed this, we were talking about what the citywide building portfolio was, and I just want to reiterate that I would love to just get a sense of how many buildings and what that looks like. So that's, just want to bring that to the forefront again, because I also might be wanting a campus tour.
Thank you. Yes, we're planning a tour with Central Services, so where we can, if not visit every building, then at least have them sort of talked about.
Thank you.
Comment.
Okay.
I'd
Would
move to
anyone
approve.
else,
I have a
please
comment.
raise your hand if you wish to speak.
I have a comment.
Councilor Elkins.
Move to approve.
It's already on the floor.
Oh, it's already moved, sorry.
Yep. Any other comments, questions? Okay, Councilor Rothenberg.
It is great that the immediate needs came in under budget. There is no reason to be using a reprogramming. There's no reason that these funds should not be returned to undesignated funds. There's no reason this shouldn't be on the SIP. There's no reason that the new council shouldn't be considering this. This will be a no vote for me.
Thank you. Councilor Clemmer.
Yeah, I think this is a wise use of the money because we can get an overview of all the buildings that need repairs or don't need repairs and then decide, prioritize everything. So I think it's a great way to spend the money that was left over. Oh, am I off?
So I apologize.
Director Nardi.
Excuse me. Thank you. Just to be clear, these aren't money, this isn't funding left over. The SIP from FY26, you appropriated $400,000 for the purpose of looking at reconfiguring
the Memorial Hall, separate from emergency repairs, other projects. We took a step back and thought it would be better before we spend money on just one building at looking at a larger view of all of our assets, of our buildings, and the same needs that they have, which is office space, employees, how we're working within the building. We're asking for you to reappropriate or reprogram this funding for a larger view at our buildings for the same purpose, not just for that one building, but for all of our downtown buildings.
Whatever reason it's left
Councilor
over
Rothenberg,
for,
please
it's
raise your
reprogrammed.
hand if you wish to speak.
Can I-
Councilor Maori.
Oh, I was just gonna.
Oh, I'm sorry,
I mean,
Councilor Clemmer.
I meant to reprogram the money. I think it's wise to have an overview, and then we can see what's going on. And thank you for the clarification on that. I had the right idea, but the wrong terminology for the money.
Councilor Maori.
Yeah, just a comment that at the time, the conversation that we heard, the feedback we got from residents was that they wanted us to look in a bigger vision of the municipal buildings. And so thank you for that, being responsive about that and coming back with this.
And I will add, I appreciate this. I see this as a way to audit internally and then to gain expertise externally of our buildings and their usage. And I hope that this leads to savings. Okay, would anyone else like to speak before I go back to Councilor Elkins, who hasn't spoken? Okay, Councilor Elkins?
Yeah, I just want to say, I agree. I always think generally wherever there are opportunities to look at things holistically, that we should do that. They lead to greater efficiencies and citywide. And it is perfectly appropriate and acceptable. And I think when I was elected to this term, I was elected all the way to the end of it. So I'll be comfortable and happy to vote on this item that I came prepared to vote on. And understand the issue and agree with, and so I'll be happy to count my yes vote tonight.
Thank you. Councilor Rothenberg?
Just to be clear for the public, it's like $400,000 for consultants, right? To study our buildings that we own?
Is that a question for the mayor's office?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, we will be contracting out to get some of their expertise and to help us assess those, yes.
Okay, if there are no other questions.
I have a final comment. It's hard to do an audit when you don't even have.
Councilor Rothenberg, please raise your hand.
Please don't tell me how to conduct.
Councilor
my-
Rothenberg,
No,
please
no.
raise your hand if you
Please
wish
make
to
an
speak.
accommodation.
Please raise your hand.
Please
if
make an
you wish to
accommodation.
speak.
Point of order.
Yes. Go ahead, state your microphone.
My point of order is that we're speaking out of turn.
I agree.
And I would like to call the question.
It's hard to do an audit when you don't have a
I called the
qualified
question.
auditor in the
Called.
city. When you don't have a
Councilor
called the
qualified
question.
auditor.
Councilor
in the
Rothenberg.
I
city,
called
we
the
don't have an
question.
auditor. We
I
don't have
called
an
the
auditor.
question.
You are
I
out of
called the
order.
question.
We don't have an auditor.
Out of order. The motion has been made to call the question by Councilor Maori and seconded by Councilor Elkins. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions?
We don't have an auditor opposed.
Are you opposed?
Can you hear me?
That is not a vote. So
I
I'm
said,
not counting that. as a
quote,
vote.
we don't have an auditor
No,
opposed.
you cannot comment.
That's how I voted.
You cannot comment. You
That's
can
how I
either
voted,
say
Alex.
no or abstain at this point. Okay. We will count that as an abstention.
Sure, rewrite the record.
Laura, do you feel you have an accurate position of?
Say no, so was your vote no?
Okay, the vote was no. I did not hear that. Thank you for clarifying. So the question has been called. We will now vote. Roll call, please, on approval of 25.353 in order to reprogram Memorial Hall funds for citywide building portfolio upgrades.
Councilor Elkins.
Yes.
Councilor Jarrett.
Yes.
Councilor Clemmer.
Yes.
Councilor Labarge. Councilor Maori.
Yes.
Councilor Moulton.
Yes.
Councilor Perry.
Yes.
Councilor Rothenberg.
No.
Councilor Dobbs.
Yes.
Okay, that passes with 8 yes votes and 1 no. Next is 25.354 in order to appropriate $112,500 from capital stabilization for expanded vehicle leasing. This is in second reading. Is there any additional information or comments or questions from councilors? Or additional information from the mayor's office or comments and questions from council? Yes, Councilor Rothenberg.
Who uses this vehicle?
So this isn't just for one vehicle? It is for 4 vehicles? 4, 5? Oh, 10. I stand corrected. It's for 10 vehicles. And it is also part of the vehicle pool so that multiple employees will be able to use these vehicles. And I don't know if Director Wild would like to come up and speak.
I mean, I can just answer specifically if that's all right. So,
Yeah, please.
Welcome, Director Weil.
I'm sorry. Thank you for giving me the chance to clarify. So this is to serve the building department where they have vehicles that are in need of replacement. So the building department will use those vehicles. Central Services has trades vans in desperate need of replacement. There are vans for the school department for their maintenance shop, and 3 trucks. I may be counting it wrong because I'm trying to do it from memory. 3 trucks that do things like plowing and so forth, so part of the school department. DCC has 1 vehicle rotating out. I think that may be it.
So none for DPW.
DPW is not participating in it at this phase.
Okay.
And it will be up to them they're a much larger organization.
Thanks.
Is there a motion to approve so we can put it on the
Move
floor?
to approve.
Second.
I believe that was a motion made by Councilor Perry and seconded by Councilor Moulton. Okay, it is on the floor. And are there further questions, comments? I appreciate the extensive presentation discussion we had at the last meeting, so my questions were answered then.
I have one question.
Councilor Rothenberg.
Do you know why Ford canceled the F-150 Lightning electric pickup truck?
Is that relevant to this, do you think, Director Weil?
I mean, I can answer it very quickly if,
Yeah.
if you don't, if it's, unless
I
it's
mean,
not on
is-
the agenda.
Well, this is about electrical vehicle. We will be leasing a number of electric vehicles.
Right, we
So it
will.
could be seen as relevant.
Could be. Ford determined that the F-150 was not profitable for them, and they have turned their attention, so the battery-making facility that made batteries for the Ford F-150 is going to continue to make batteries, but they will be serving the electric grid. And they are focusing on smaller EVs, such as, but not specifically, the ones we're hoping to lease.
Anyone else? Okay, roll call, please, on approval of 25.354.
Counselor Jarrett.
Yes.
Counselor Clemmer.
Yes.
Counselor Labarge.
Yes.
Counselor Maori.
Yes.
Counselor Moulton.
Yes.
Counselor Perry.
Yes.
Counselor Rothenberg.
Yes.
Counselor Dubbs.
Yes.
And Counselor Elkins.
Yes.
Okay, that passes unanimously. We then move on to the Community Preservation Act funding recommendations. These are all on second reading. There are 8 of them. Are there any that councilors would like to vote on separately? Okay, not hearing a desire for that, I would entertain a motion to approve all 8 Community Preservation Act funding recommendations.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Okay, motion made by Councilor Dubbs and seconded by Councilor Labarge. So these are now on the floor. We had a presentation at last meeting from Sarah LaValle, and many questions were answered. Is there any additional information or questions that councilors have? I do want to say that I appreciate the email we received about the answers to the pump track questions. So appreciate those. Okay, seeing none, roll call please on approval of the 8 CPA orders.
Pardon me, I have a comment.
Okay.
And I would have had a
Counselor.
removal if you had allowed for more time for me to process to be able to say that.
We can still adjust.
I would like to remove the pump track.
Okay, so what do we have to do here?
I think we have to.
I think we need unanimous consent to withdraw the motion, and then we'll do 2 separate motions. Is there unanimous consent to withdraw the motion?
There is not.
Okay, then we need to vote on.
I would like to comment on it then.
And we need to. Can we vote on withdrawing the motion? Do we have to vote on withdrawing the motions then? This is getting into some parliamentary procedure we haven't done.
You can keep it included. I just want to make a comment before we vote.
Oh, absolutely. Councilor Rothenberg.
So, although I agree with everything else besides the pump track, I will vote no. The pump track has been presented to us as something that is beneficial to people who live in affordable housing because of its proximity. It's not anything that any of my residents who live in affordable housing have asked for. They have immediate needs. We have plenty of recreation facilities that are not being maintained. There's no reason to believe this will be maintained. There is no reason to add new things when we're not already taking care of the things that we have. There's no reason, again, for this to not be in the SIP. So for all of those reasons, I will vote no to the package since we haven't removed it, though I do have no issue with anything else in the package.
Councilor
I
Elkins.
just want to respond. CPA projects are not ever included in the SIP. This particular project involved extensive public fundraising by the people who brought the project forward, and so this is in addition to that, in addition to the robust process that already is the vetting of CPA projects. So in case anybody's watching, this is not a SIP project. The CPA is a different process. You can watch all of their meetings and watch all of the input and hear from all the folks who have supported these projects. I might, well, I'll just leave it at that.
And Councilor Moulton and then Councilor Clemmer.
Thank you. I want to say again what I said at the last meeting, that I was first introduced to the pump track proposal in 2022 when I served on the ARPA Review Committee for Community Grants. There was significant public input and support for this project, and it's been going on at least for 4 years in terms of the that fundraising that Councilor Elkins mentioned. I also want to respond to the claim that the councilor from Ward 3 made that this will not be maintained. We received, as Councilor Jarrett said, we received today an email from Sarah LaValle specifically detailing the agreements that NCC has made with Parks and Recreation about maintaining this. So, again, the facts say that there is an agreement about how this track will be maintained.
Councilor Clemmer.
Councilor Moulton just addressed, I also was going to talk about the email from Sarah LaValle about that the maintenance is going to be taken care of. So,
Great.
I'm good.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Is there
I have
anyone
another
else
comment.
who would like to speak on this item? Is there a hand? Oh, yeah. Councilor Rothenberg.
We have many bathrooms at many facilities that don't exist. The fact that this is brought through the CPA rather than through the city or the SIP is what it is, but it's not a requirement that it cannot be something that the city could have proposed to fund. The CPA exists to encourage communities to do non-essential things in lean years. But it is still hard to justify this when we have kids that can't read. The CPA cannot hire teachers or paras, but
Point
it
of order.
can cover things.
Point of order has been raised. Counselor Elkins,
Not-
please state your point of order.
Not pertinent, relevant to the agenda item.
What
I'd
specifically
further-
is not pertinent?
I'd further call the question.
Calling the question is not interruptible, but please be stay relevant to what the CPA can fund.
I have been to many CPA meetings over the years. Before I was even a city councilor, I always went to support Historic Northampton's requests. The fact that a well-organized group, a well-organized privileged group of residents pushing for their hobbies came to the CPA is not a compelling reason. We should do more outreach to ensure that everyone in our community knows how to bring things to the CPA.
Thank you. Seeing no other, Counselor Perry.
This is something I wrote up when we last discussed this in depth, and one of my biggest questions, because this is in my ward. Well, I represent all the wards now, but it's right across the street and down the hill from the music center. It was maintenance. I've visited the area. I've seen what the state of the facilities were. I mentioned before I performed when they opened the skate park, and I'm very pleased to hear that maintenance of that bathroom will be upkept. It's a public restroom that people use from all walks of life, from the privileged folks to also our unhoused population. And so that is one of the reasons why I'm excited to see this, is that it gives some much needed maintenance to an area that has kind of fallen to not to the wayside, but has not had as much attention to detail as it is. So that's why I'm supporting this, not only for the benefits that it has for kids, for adults, for our community, but also for the other benefits that'll come along with it. So.
Thank you.
I have one final comment, just on a different item.
Counselor, is there anyone else who wishes to speak before we go to Counselor Elkins?
I call the question.
Okay, calling the question has been, a motion has been made to call the question. Is there a second? Second. Okay, motion made by Counselor Elkins and seconded by Counselor Labarge to call the question. There's no discussion on calling the question. So all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Opposed?
Okay, that passes by 8 yes votes and 1 no. We will now proceed to the roll call for all 8 of the Community Preservation Act funding recommendations.
Counselor Clemmer.
Yes.
Counselor Labarge. Yes. Counselor Maori.
Yes.
Counselor Moulton.
Yes.
Counselor Perry.
Yes.
Counselor Rothenberg.
Crafts Avenue has ethics problems.
Is there a yes, no, or abstention?
There's a Wayne Fiden
Is there a
changing
yes,
the
no,
value
or
of the
abstention?
land,
Anything
changing
else
the
at this
assessed
point is
value
out
of the
of-
land.
you are out of order.
And again, benefiting Dory
I-
Brooks.
I
There's
we have
major
to stay
problems
out
with
of
Crafts
order.
Avenue.
You are out of order, Counselor Rothenberg.
I understand.
And would
It's a choice
you like
I'm
to
making.
vote yes, no, or abstention?
No.
Thank you. Okay, that brings us to 25.
Wait, I didn't get to
Oh,
vote more.
I'm sorry.
Counselor Dobbs.
Yes.
Counselor Elkins.
Yes.
And Counselor Jarrett.
Yes. So that passes. All 8 of those orders pass with 8 yes votes and 1 no. That brings us to the last item on our agenda, 25.358, an order to amend temporary and permanent easements between the city and Valley Community Development Corporation to support affordable housing. This is in first reading, and I will read the process note. This order amends and clarifies the authorization of the mayor to transfer easements for the purpose of developing affordable housing subject to the restrictions and conditions the mayor imposes pursuant to Council Order 21.343. 2 readings are respectfully requested. Is there someone from the mayor's office yes, Planning Director Mish, welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. So this order is essentially an amendment to an order that the council already adopted, as you read, in 2021. The reason for requesting the amendment is that the original area for temporary easements and permanent easements has changed based on now the plan is to use the parking area as a geothermal well field for the 27 Crafts Avenue housing project. And so that's under city property. It wasn't understood clearly that that was the path that could be taken. And so we need to, in order for Valley Community Development to build the project with geothermal, they would need an easement for temporary construction and then permanent easement to be able to access and maintain those wells. And so the expanded area essentially takes in the entire back portion of the city property, including the parking lot and all the way up to the building, the back building face.
And we can see now here on the screen. Could you describe what we're seeing here?
Sure. So the area in a red odd-shaped polygon there is the area that's proposed as the bigger easement area that would support the housing that is going to be located where it says 27 Crest Avenue, which was already conveyed to Valley Community Development, which is the carved out portion of that polygon. So that property is already transferred. There was an easement already granted to allow Valley to stage in the parking area and to do some landscaping and modifications of the layout of the parking lot. But the now with the needing to do the boreholes in a bigger area in the parking lot, we need to expand the easement location. So it just, this odd-shaped polygon then allows for the flexibility to put those the well field in and then all the piping. And also connect up to the back of City Hall, which is part of that.
Thank you. Could you speak to the impacts that the drilling might have on the availability of parking or on the, if we're giving these easements, I want to better understand the impacts that could have.
Sure. So during, as always was planned, that during construction for the building, the parking lot was going to be a staging area for Valley Community Development. So the parking lot was not going to be accessible for anyone during construction. And then after they would rebuild the parking lot and then vacate, and then it would return to city parking. Putting the boreholes in the parking lot won't prohibit parking in the future. So it's going to be all part of the construction. It'll be covered back up. You won't even know it. The parking lot will be restored to its slightly altered shape, and number of spaces will, I think, will be reduced by 2 parking spaces.
Councillor Maori.
Yeah, and what's the timing on the borehole digging? Is that going to happen before construction or during construction?
That's a good question. My guess is it might be one of the earlier things that happens, but I don't know if Director Weil has a better idea of the timing of that kind of construction. I mean, it's not our project, so Valley has to get, one of the things that we're trying to go after now is state funding for this, and so that's why they need to modify the easement so they can go to the state and say, okay, we're ready to apply for this grant. And then once they get all the financing together, that's when they'll begin construction. Once they start construction, basically they'll close the lot off. So whatever order works for them to do the drilling for the well field versus other work that they might be doing prep work on the rest of their site. But I don't know what their phasing is.
That's fine. Thank you.
Yeah.
Councillor Rothenberg.
Yeah, so as I was saying, this whole project is really tainted by Wayne Fiden changing the assessment value to avoid triggering a bid. And I don't want to have anything to do with it. And I would like to lodge a charter objection.
I can't, okay.
It financially benefited Dory Brooks. Charter objection.
You're unable to do a charter objection because it's not on the floor for a vote.
I'm not going to be here for this.
Are there any other questions? Comments? Councillor Perry.
Sorry, I'm processing.
The whole term, or?
Yes, all right. So I see this, we're looking at a shared geothermal well, so I'm wondering, would this also be part of looking at our campus, our city campus portfolio? And which buildings would be able to connect to that, is my question.
I mean, I guess, yes, it's tied in some ways to evaluating, the future use of buildings. But I think the idea of basically you want to drill the holes once and not come back. And so this is just setting up for the future if City Hall, for example, could connect, or other buildings, and I'm talking way outside of my area of expertise. But what they're doing will support the housing and then allow the city to also tap in and be part of that loop. But again, at this point, the pipes would be connected to City Hall, and so I don't know that. I mean, City Hall will be there for forever. So what happens inside it may change, but I don't know that necessarily that wouldn't really affect our ability in the future if it made sense to convert to geothermal heat pumps for City Hall.
All done? Okay, sorry. Other questions or comments? Okay. There are 2 readings requested. Is there a motion to suspend the rules?
Motion to suspend the rules.
Whoa.
Seconded.
So that was motion made by Councillor Clemmer and seconded by Councillor Elkins.
Charter objection.
You
Whenever
can't
you think it's time.
do
I'm
a
just
charter
going to do it early till you think it's
Please,
time.
you're out of order.
I don't know when I'm out of
You're
order.
out of
so
order.
I have to try it.
You're out of order.
You're out of order when the
could say
chair
it's
says
too
you're out of
late.
order.
Please stop talking. Okay. What was on the floor? Okay. A motion has been made to suspend the rules so that we may vote tonight. And is there any discussion on that? Councillor Rothenberg.
When do you think is the appropriate time for the charter objection?
I'm not going to give you advice.
Okay, I'll just keep saying it. You can keep objecting to me
You
talking.
need to be recognized
Charter
in order
objection.
to.
You don't for a charter objection.
Actually, it was my interpretation that you do need to be recognized. It's not interruptible.
We've never done that.
I have recently reviewed my Robert's rules and looking at the different rules, and that is now my interpretation. So what's on the floor is the suspension of rules so that we may vote tonight. Do you have a comment on that?
Would you like to move it along?
You do not have a comment on that.
That's my comment.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Charter objection?
That is out of order.
It's okay.
Are you voting?
The vote is no.
Okay, thank you. So that passes. And
Move to
Charter objection?
please, you are out of order. It needs to be put on the floor. And I believe Councillor Elkins has made a motion to put this item on the floor.
Move to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
Charter objection.
Motion made by Councillor Elkins and seconded by Councillor Clemmer. Is there any comment? Counselor Maori.
I'd like to call the question.
Okay.
Charter objection.
Let's see.
We're really
We're-
giving you your last 10 minutes.
I know, this is great.
I can look it up. Sorry.
No, that's acceptable. I have not yet called on Councilor Rothenberg, so she is unable to make a charter objection. So you have called the question.
Is this the
and
night to mess with free
now
speech?
that,
Is this the night to mess
Please
with
be
free
quiet.
speech?
You're out of order.
Do you think
are
it's a
out
good
of order.
idea?
You are out of order.
Do you think it's a good idea?
Councilor Rothenberg, we have rules, and you are breaking them. You can, if you do not agree with the interpretation of the chair, then you can challenge the interpretation of the chair, and then we can vote on that.
I just keep saying
Councilor
charter
Maori.
objection till we finish.
You're distracting me. Please stop.
Charter
We
objection.
will certainly get to that.
Charter objection.
This is ridiculous.
Stick the mic away.
Okay.
I
Where
called-
were we?
Yeah, so we have a motion on the floor.
You have a
and then
motion on the floor to
and it
call
was
the
seconded,
question.
And then I called the question.
Right, so
After
that
the motion's on the
itself
floor.
is a subsidiary motion, so we need a second to call the
Second.
question. Okay. A,
Now we,
so motion made by Counselor,
we don't have to vote on that, we just need to.
no, we need to vote on
Oh, we
that. Motion made by Counselor Maori and seconded by Counselor Moulton to call the question. There is no discussion on calling the question, so all in favor say aye.
Charter.
Aye.
Is there any noes?
Charter objection.
Any abstentions?
No.
Nope, that passes. Did you say no?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Would anyone? Okay, we're calling the question, and
Charter objection.
now Councilor Rothenberg is entitled to call a charter objection.
Thank you so much.
And I see that you love meeting with us, and we will hold a special meeting on Tuesday. We'll try to do an item on Tuesday.
Yep.
A meeting on Tuesday. Is there any new business? Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn, please.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor
Second.
Perry and seconded by Councilor Moulton to adjourn. Well, thank you all, and
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
no, we have to vote on that. But we are not. So all in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I vote no. So that passes with 8 yes votes and 1 no. And I will work on scheduling a special meeting for us on Zoom on Tuesday. So I look forward to we unexpectedly get to see all of you
It's not
again.
over yet.
Thank you very much. We are adjourned.